early.
Internet. We are 1 minute early. Holy crud.
Oh, here we go.
What?
There it is.
What do we do?
The stream was loading for me.
Nice. That we can do a stream delay test and see how much delay there is. Well, hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Tech Talk, episode 4. This is our 1 month anniversary with AuxxZillary as our co-host. How you feeling there,
Who's
Aux?
that guy who has to eat his hat? Who's that guy?
You feeling good?
We can end now because that guy can eat his hat, and now we can just.
That's right. There was a guy who left a comment on our very first episode, and he said, "I will eat my hat if this lasts longer than a month." And here we are today.
Well, maybe we should do one more, because then it would be longer.
Okay, I'm willing to give him one more, and then we'll call it quits, and he still has to eat his hat. So
nice.
Hope you're all doing good today. Just a little heads up, I have had a pretty severe cold for the last couple of days, so I've had my fair share of cough medicine and other medicines. So old AuxxZillary here can rein me in if I start doodling off into the toolies too much. But I hope you're all having a wonderful, what is today, Saturday? I'm going to guess it's Saturday.
It is. In fact, it's Leap Day, by the way. It's the 29th of February. Yeah.
What does that mean exactly?
Well, because I think it has something to do with like how the Earth goes around the sun. It's not exactly, it doesn't match up perfectly with our calendar or whatever. So every once in a while, we have to add an extra day to make up for it.
Interesting. I did not know of this. So does that mean that technically it's not Saturday, or?
Oh no, it's Saturday. It's just like a weird, because like we also add a few seconds every once in a while. They call them leap seconds, and it's really weird because like it'll mess with like GPS and stock trading and things like that. We like add an extra second every few years or something. It's because I think it's because the world is actually slowing down. Its rotation and orbit is over time slowing down.
Yeah. And eventually it comes to a stop, starts going backwards, and then we go backwards in time, right? Like the old Superman movies.
Like Superman.
You know what? You actually reminded me of something I just watched a couple of weeks ago that's a total random tangent. You said that the stock market can be affected by these little timing issues.
Yeah.
I was watching this documentary on Netflix where they said that at the stock exchange, they have to delay the transactions from people that are right there at Wall Street because they can't give them an unfair advantage because they're like milliseconds faster than people that are on the other side of the world. So they literally wrap a fiber optic line like 5 million times around a spool. I mean, it weighs like a ton. And then everything has to go through that fiber optic line so that everybody at least incurs the penalty of everybody that's on the other side of the world.
Oh wow!
It's bizarre.
It makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I've heard of Wall Street guys like investing billions in dropping fiber optic line across the Atlantic and stuff to shave milliseconds off of their trading times. It's crazy.
And they said the reason why they did it was because if they used a computer program to do it, there's a chance that it could be manipulated or it wouldn't be precise enough. So they decided to just go with an analog solution of just having these giant fiber optic rolls, and the signal coming into the building has to go around this roll so many times that it adds like 20 milliseconds or whatever to the connection. And I was like, that is just a weird solution. Hey, William, is it Gingrich?
Hey,
I love it.
Yeah, it works. It works.
Yeah, we got. Yes, did it pop up? And I heard a ding. Nice. That's awesome. just to let you guys know what I've been doing all this morning, and it's surprising that we're actually on time, is getting Streamlabs OBS to work. Because I know we normally use Stream Elements and OBS Studio, but Stream Elements just will not work with YouTube, like no matter what I do, and it's because of a problem that they have on their side, and they said the only way to fix it is for their engineers to go in and fix it by hand through the database. So I was like, holy crap, this sucks. So I decided to just pick up Streamlabs OBS, even though I technically didn't want to use it, but I have to admit, I do kind of like it. Like, it's growing on me.
I like it. I use a combination of Stream Elements, their browser overlays, but I paste them into Streamlabs OBS.
Oh, so you're like best of both worlds.
Yeah, in a way. Like I don't use. I think I've finally moved all of the bots and alerts and stuff away from Streamlabs stuff. Okay. I think it's all handled by Stream Elements now. But I really like their built-in themes are really fresh, and like the animated and stuff. They're really nice.
Well, this is the funny thing is that's the pay feature. Like, so Streamlabs OBS gives you everything for free except for the themes, and Stream Elements gives you all the themes for free. So you can technically take Stream Elements like you're doing right now, go create a theme, and pull it over into Streamlabs OBS, and now you basically have Streamlabs OBS Premium without paying $19 a month.
Pretty much, yeah. That's kind of what I did.
Technically, you're not a pirate at that
I
point,
like it.
so
Yeah, I think it's a good mix because yeah, even Stream Elements OBS, their version's still a little clunky. So I'm okay with. I think Corsair now owns Streamlabs, so I'm okay
do they really?
with it.
Man,
I believe so. Yeah, I think
Corsair's been on like a buying rampage.
oh yeah, they got Elgato. They've got Origin PC now. I think they acquired Blue as well. Blue, the
Wow.
Yetis, right? Yeah, they've been doing a really good job.
Wow, where did they get all the capital for that? That seems like they're buying companies that are larger than I thought they were.
Peripherals, actually.
Yep.
A few years back, I remember Corsair because like originally you'd think Corsair for like RAM.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were like memory and power supplies and stuff like that.
Yep.
I remember a few years ago. I can't remember who I was talking to, but they were like, "No, we don't see ourselves as a like a hardware company in that way anymore. We're a peripheral company. We make keyboards, we make chassis, things like that. Like that, they pivoted away from. I mean, I'm sure it's still a major part of their business model, but it's
Yeah.
not their main purpose anymore.
I wonder if they did that before the memory factories burned to the ground or after.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I think this would have been, 3-4 years ago or so.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Hey, Rockwood wants to know if we're selling VPNs on the stream. Unfortunately,
Oh,
no, not yet. But we will.
hey,
We will sell a
but
VPN on the stream.
if somebody like Nord VPN or whatever wants to fucking sponsor the
Yeah,
show,
bring it.
get a hold of Barnacules
Yeah.
and
Well,
look, I'll talk nice about anything.
yeah, we'll sell your shit, man.
If it's
We're as shilly as the next guy. So, yeah, if you want to see like a little Nord VPN banner, like where's it down over there under AuxxZillary? I got everything backwards and sideways. So way over there, yeah, that's where we do it.
Yeah.
Hey Ryan, thank you for yet another
Hey,
20
Ryan.
Canadians.
Awesome. Thank you very much. That's awful kind.
Yeah, he said,
Through
"Have a
Super
great day. Keep up the great work, guys."
Oh, you have a great day too, man. That's
So
nice.
So
And
nice.
thank you for the support. That's really, really awesome.
You know what else I noticed? I don't think
What's
your audio's ducking when I'm talking. Like here, talk while I talk over you. Check.
I'm gonna talk, and then you keep talking, and I'll keep talking, and you can talk. And
OBS Studio is doing that.
Awesome.
So it used to duck your audio down to 50% when I was talking, and because of the delay, I'd walk on you a bunch. And then if you tried to walk on me, it would just pull your volume back. Now we can equally walk on each other, which will make things a lot easier. It'll make things a lot easier.
Awesome.
We're learning.
You guys can jump on the affiliate train and get that sponsor anytime you want. Oh, I mean, maybe.
Well, technically, I already have NordVPN as a sponsor through their affiliate program, but that's a morning coffee thing and a YouTube channel thing. They're not an official sponsor of like this specific stream. I'm looking to find sponsors that want to sponsor TechTalk, like specifically. And I'm already talking to a couple of people. I'll tell you about that after the stream. But I'm already talking to a couple of people that might be interested, and even some local parties, like people that we can actually drive to their building. So I was like, that's pretty cool. So we'll figure that out when we get there. Anyways, YouTube doesn't pay the bills anymore, so you got to like go and find companies that are willing to like pay your power and pay your cable and stuff.
Hey,
yeah,
not to go too far on down that, but I think it'd be cool to work with some people. Is all.
No, it would. And the thing is, it doesn't even have to be like a monetary sponsorship. It's like if they can help us out with like equipment, services, like a VPN. Just having a VPN is a nice thing to have. I mean, right now I'm using my paid VPN, but that's okay.
Raid Shadow Legends. Actually, man, this one game I've been playing on my phone, and I'm not a big mobile like game phone person. It's called Dungeon Tales, and totally not sponsored, totally not an ad. But
you actually told me about this, I think, after last stream.
If any of you have played Slay the Spire on PC, it's very similar. I mean, clearly it's a little easier to get into because it's a mobile game, but man, I can't put it down. It's become my favorite one.
Kind of game is it? Like if you had to describe it.
A roguelike deck builder. You kind of work your way through different dungeons and stuff, and as you defeat monsters, you collect cards and like your attacks and stuff come from your deck. So
it's like a dungeon crawler and Magic the Gathering all put into one.
In a sense, yeah. I would pull up Steam and look up Slay the Spire, and you'll get an idea of the kind of gameplay loop there.
Oh, hold on here. Let's see here.
Anthony, long time watching, first super chat. Have a great day, guys. Burrs Viz Miata. BRZ versus Miata. What would you choose and why? Ooh, so I'm not a real super knowledgeable car guy. If I had the money, I would probably pick the BRZ because I like the look of it more than, and we're talking new, right? New, like a 2020 or whatever, 2019 versus 2019 Miata. I would pick the BRZ mostly because it looks cool. It looks cooler than the Miata.
Dude, they're fun to drive too. Oh my god.
Yeah. But I hear they're incredibly difficult to work on. Like I feel like that's Toyota's influence.
Anything with a boxer engine, dude. Honestly, even my Subaru STI is a pain in the ass because when you have the cylinders sticking straight out the side, they go right into the fender well, and then they drop the motor way down low, where it's like the narrowest point of the engine bay because they want to get that gravity, center of gravity low, and it makes it a pain in the ass to even do like even just changing the spark plugs on my car, it will make you like throw tools. It sucks. Like changing the oil is the only thing that's easy. Even a head gasket. Like to do a head gasket, I have to do 2 head gaskets because it's too, it's. I mean, similar on a V motor too. So,
right,
it sucks. But I'll tell you what, the BRZs are awesome because we got to drive them out of Dirtfish. When we did the rally when Jay's 2 cents and I were up here and we were doing the rally competition. It wasn't really a competition, but I did totally kick his ass. So make sure you let him know that. We both had a blast driving. It was my first time driving the rear wheel drive cars. I always drove the all wheel drive cars when I was out there. And I'll tell you what, the BRZs, they're not super powerful. Like I think they're rated like around 190, 200 horsepower or something. They're not crazy powerful, but they're so lightweight and the tires on them are so narrow that 30 miles an hour, you feel like you're doing like 100. It's crazy different than driving an all wheel drive car. So I'd get one in a heartbeat, dude. Hey, man.
This seems really neat.
So let's see. ML Emmett, love the name, by the way. He gave us 50 secs. We got 50 secs today, dude. That's like 49 more secs than I usually get.
Dang.
Hey, Anthony, thank you for that $5. Said, long-time watcher, first super chat. Have a great day, guys. BRZ versus Miata. That's what you responded to, right? What would you choose and why? Me personally, like if I had to choose between the BRZ and the Miata, it'd be hands down the BRZ also. And the reason being is because I think the BRZ is just way more refined than the Miata was. Not to say the Miata's not awesome. Miatas are absolutely awesome. They're like 50-50 weight distribution.
Sure.
But the BRZ definitely has a lot more grunt. Even though I don't consider it a ton of power, it's way more than a Miata has.
Now, that being said, I am in the as sort of a side goal, a low priority goal of mine is to buy like a 98 Miata, like an older one, just for the fun of it, just to have like a go-kart in the driveway and mash around in the summertime and stuff.
And they're notoriously reliable, right? Like, I mean, their cars, I see people run them like 250,000 miles and stuff. So I have been in a fast one. They do make a fast one though. Did you ever see the Mazda Speed MX-5 that came out like a couple years back? It was like limited run. I know they didn't do a bunch of them, but they had a 6-speed in them. And I think they had like 220 horsepower or something like that. So technically that one would spank a BRZ. And I went for a ride. I've never driven one, but I was a passenger in one. And I was like, I do remember it being like pretty damn quick because they weigh nothing, right? Even the new ones are pretty light.
Yeah. It's they're what, like 1,200 pounds or something. I think
it's probably closer to like 2,100 or something. But still, my car weighs what, 1,500 pounds more than that. So just think about how much more motor that needs to push, right?
It'd be fun.
Hey, and if you guys in chat want to ask us anything, just tag us so it pops up in chat and we can see it, just like Charles did. See, Charles knows what he's doing. He said, I'm thinking of getting a lightly used 2005 WRX STI. Is it worth the money? Absolutely. Oh my gosh, the 2004 and 2005 are absolutely the best year of the STI. In my humble opinion, I know I'm biased because I own one, but I seeked it out. I could have had any year, and that was the year that I specifically looked for because it has a close ratio gearbox, so your first and second gear are really low, so you can dig and smoke your tires on the pavement without ripping all your motor mounts out. And just put a little bit money into them. Like there's a couple things on them that just commonly fail. You just fix those couple little things, and they're hugely reliable.
Huh.
What is it? What do you think of the Subaru eyesight technology? I've heard of it. I don't know a lot about it, but is that like where they have the cameras up on the windshield that can look ahead for obstacles and stuff and like auto brake and keep you in your lane and stuff like that?
Let's see.
I think a buddy of mine was talking about getting that as a feature. We didn't. We bought a 2018 Forester, and it has none of the auto. It doesn't even have the radar guided cruise control, which I regret not getting.
Yeah, it's just what you were saying. A couple cameras up where the rear view mounts.
Nice. Yeah, Douglas said, yeah, pre-collision braking, lane keep assistance, and driver focus monitor. I think lane keep is something that should be on every car nowadays. Like, I think that
Yeah,
one thing, because
why not?
back when I was first learning to drive, and I remember this, like, it's gotten a lot better now, like, because I've lived in more of a metropolitan area where people have to be a little bit more careful. But where I grew up, people would just drive over the lines, not even drunk, just like they wouldn't pay attention, just be like off on the side of the road into the other lane. Yeah, right? So lane keep, I think, would probably save a lot of lives, because my sister's been sideswiped twice on the freeway where somebody just changed lanes into her. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Oh, Carl's got a question for you, man.
Oh, money, no object. What one car would you have? Dude, I don't know. There's a bunch that I really like. And some of them I wouldn't want to keep. You know what I mean? Like I would want to drive it around just to say that I drove it, and then because they're just super impractical.
Yeah.
But man, I really like the SC 400s that were back in the day. They had the V8. I think they had the 2JZ V8, right, from Toyota. The Lexus SC 400s are great.
Wow.
I really would love to dump a bunch of money into a Volkswagen Corrado.
Yeah,
that's my most favorite car in the whole world. I am like, my soul wants one of those so bad. They look so cool, and I just want one really bad.
Yeah. They have a slick shifting system. Have you ever driven one? Oh, dude, the manuals, like, it is it literally feels like the shifter isn't even connected to a motor or a transmission. It feels like you're playing a video game.
Man,
it's like electrically actuated. They did some crazy shifter system in it, but you can just slap that thing through gears like nothing. You can just throw the shifter into the gear, and it's amazing. But apparently they're prone to break down a lot. The gear system and the electronics are the weak link on them.
I feel like that's a thing with Volkswagens in general. Like, especially their electronics don't seem to be too good. Like, my windows died all the time. I had a couple Jettas, and yeah, I keep hearing that, like, the electronics just are bad in Volkswagen.
That's a Volkswagen and Audi trait, though. And I know we're gonna have so many Audi people in the chat that are like, no, Audis are the most amazing cars ever. Here, I'm gonna say this. Once, Germans make the greatest mechanical devices ever. Like, they are masters at mechanical stuff. Electronics, they've just recently got a handle on. Like, if you buy a new car like this year, yeah, the electronics are actually pretty good because they've started importing Denso and a lot more stuff where they used to make it themselves. The electronics are a lot better in the cars now than they used to be. But oh my god, everybody I know that has a turbo Audi, like every single person I know that had a turbo Audi from like 2000 to 2008. Every single one of them, I'm not even kidding, the dashboard died within like the first 30,000 miles. Like, the digital dashboard just and so I don't trust the electronics in those cars. Subaru, Toyota, electronics will be flawless. Like, I would like to do a 2JZ swap and a STI though. That'd be fun. I don't know how you'd retain the all-wheel drive, but it'd be pretty badass.
That'd be crazy, huh?
Wouldn't it? See, we can talk about cars. Cars are technology, right?
I was thinking about that earlier today when we were talking about topics, and it crossed my mind that tech talk is not necessarily always computer stuff.
Correct.
It's technology in general, and there is some really cool stuff going on in a lot of different spaces that is still technology,
and it's getting closer together too, right? Because Teslas now are basically computers and GPUs on wheels. You know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Falcon 9 rocket used to be just fill it with fuel and send it to the moon. Now it's like all like guidance takes up where mechanics used to. Like, it's all electronics now. That's actually kind of a cool thing that I'd love to talk about.
It was something because like it's hard. I was thinking about it, and I'm like, man, if we just keep it about like computery stuff, there's not a lot that we can talk about without getting demonetized, because like the things that are hot topics right now, we've gotten kind of finger wagged at to not talk about, because like we could talk about how some conventions have been delayed or canceled because of certain topics, and but we're not supposed to, and so we have to branch out and talk about different technological stuff, because like and that's part of what we're going to be doing today.
Yeah, it's well, one, I think it's just cool that like now Tech Talk 2.0 is time to actually talk about tech. The old Tech Talk, we'd never talk about tech hardly ever. Like, it was just an excuse just to get together and talk. So I do like the idea of actually like getting down the nitty gritty and talking about technology, because it's something that I enjoy and is a passion of mine that I want to bring back to life for sure. But it's also, we live in a time. What's that?
Well, there's just so much cool stuff too.
Yep. Let's see here. Right now, I'm tweeting it out because I totally realized I didn't even tweet out that we're streaming right now. I'm like, there's probably people that have like no idea that we're even streaming right now because the notification system doesn't really work very well.
Because it's the 4th one in a row, and people should know that this is the time to be here.
Absolutely.
Except, actually, we were talking about maybe doing it a little earlier after this one. So
yeah, after we're done with today's live stream, we're going to talk about a potential scheduling change for the betterment of everything. And we can do what we want. Okay, I forgot I was supposed to meet up with somebody today. I forgot to tell them that I'm sick as shit. Like, I don't want to spread what I got, especially with like everything going on with you know what, and we can't talk about. But I just don't want to get anybody, you know, sick. So
sure.
You guys probably should do the same thing. Like, don't go get other people sick. It's not nice to do. Doesn't matter what it is.
Man, wash your hands. Don't touch your face.
There you go. That's it, man. That's like best advice I've ever heard from a human being. Like, seriously, you nailed it. And the thing is like I am so guilty of not doing those things for so long in my adult life and wondering why I got sick all the time. And then when I started doing it, I got sick a whole lot less.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yep.
Hands down, it's the one thing that or the two things I suppose that I attribute. I don't get sick too often, and hands down, wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Wash your hands, the big one, like all the time. Like, wash your damn hands, you nasty people. Wash your hands.
I know. I used to be that guy that would go into like the dirtiest bathroom ever and like touch every handle, but be like, oh, well, I didn't touch Mr. Winky, so I don't gotta wash my hands. As I'm like rubbing my hand on the handle that like 50 other people just did their business and touched. It's like, no, you gotta wash your hands. Sometimes I even wash my hands before I do anything, which seems kind of counterproductive, but. Oh, God. I've become a little bit of a germaphobe the older I've gotten because I've gotten so sick so easily because since I have a son now, who's almost 10 years old, the kid is literally like a little bubonic plague walking around. He comes home from school, and I have to hit him with the Purell and, you know, mace him in the face with the Lysol. Cover your eyes, son. You know, it's like I'm afraid to, like, let him in the house because every time somebody's sick at school, because parents love sending their sick kids to school. Don't. Oh,
yeah.
Biggest pet peeve.
I mean, I always take the food service, you know, kind of rules of thumb when it comes to that. Like, if you have a fever, don't come. Wait 24 hours after your fever breaks. You know, if you're ejecting from either end, don't come in. And that's about it.
No, I mean, because most of the stuff just spreads by like human to human germ contact, and that can be washed off. Like you could literally be in a room with somebody who's sick, and as long as they're not coughing, as long as they're not like crapping themselves all over the room, and you can wash your hands. Like, as long as you're not getting super close to their face and everything like that, it super dramatically lowers your risk of getting any kind of sickness. So be safe, people. Be safe. Hey, Jonathan, thank you for that $5 tip. He said, what processor or motherboard do you both prefer for a medium cost build or a new PC? I'm looking for around 1.5K so far.
3rd gen AMD and Gigabyte.
Damn, that was fast.
I typed it already in chat.
Okay, I was gonna say what? Like, I know you build mini PCs, but holy crap, that was a fast response.
Yeah. Oh, and crucial memory. Buy the cheap green stuff. Like, unless you're really hardcore about people eyeballing your fancy pants machine, like, buy the green PCB. It's cheaper, it's reliable, crucial all day long.
I don't know how true this is, but what I've heard from a couple of my friends is, in general, not always, but in general, the more RGB and flash that the memory has, that's the less money they've spent on the R&D and the QC on the actual RAM itself.
I would believe that. Honestly, they probably take their bin stuff and use it. You know, the higher quality stuff probably looks worse.
Holy crap, dude. We just got 200 squiggly lines.
What are those?
I've never seen it.
I'm going to copy and paste that into Google because I want to know what that is.
Well, thank you so much. You said he's a big fan. Well, thank you, Toothless.
Man, they're Indian rupees. That's cool. Thank you very much.
No way. We got some rupees. We've never gotten rupees before. That's
super cool. I see it now. It's kind of like an R without the vertical line and then 2 equals. That's pretty cool, man. Right. Thank you very much.
That's our first rupee. You know what? I've never gotten a rupee ever on any platform. So rock on, man. Hey, I'm just excited that I got some rupees. That kind of put a spring on my step. Rupees. Hey, I do want to thank Mopar W for that $2. He said, hey, glad to see you got the stuff working out. Yep, all the notifications are online and working a treat.
Good.
Ivan Gajic or Gaik. Hopefully, I'm not butchering your name. He gave us 1,000 RSDs. Do you know what RSDs are?
I think they are Serbian dinar.
Ooh, dinars. You know what? I'm starting to think that a lot of the currencies on Star Trek were stolen from other countries. Because I know there's a currency in Star Trek universe that sounds like a dinar. There's another currency in there I know that sounds like a rupee. Or am I thinking ruple? Is that a currency too? Ruple? Or am I thinking like Zelda?
Ruples, I think that's, or it's a B. It's a B sound. Rubles is Russian.
Wow. Yeah, Krillin64 said that's the first time he's ever seen rupees either. That's awesome, man. Ivan said, just showing support for you. Hope to see some new Codgasm videos soon. It's been forever since one. I know. I honestly, the truth is, I haven't programmed anything in a good 6 months, so I got to sit down, open up the new version of Visual Studio, and start cranking some stuff out, because I'm one of those people that's like, I'll just take it like a duck to water. I've done it my whole life. Not to toot my own horn, but it's like I think like a computer when it comes to programming. So I'm going to open a Visual Studio, and then I'm going to end up just staying up all through the night, and then I'm going to wake up in the morning, I'm going to have a program that does something that I really needed like 6 months ago, and then it's just going to restart that fire, and then you won't be able to shut me up on the topic. It's just I got to get there. That's the only thing. Krillin64 said, when I think rupees, I think video games. No, me too. That's what I'm thinking. Isn't a rupee like from like Legend of Zelda or something? A little.
That is,
Or were those ruples? Or were they rupees?
No, that's hey, Front Page Tech. Holy cow, thank you very much. I recognize that name.
Who let that asshole in here?
On, man.
Actually, he's doing a lot better than me, so he can actually like afford he can afford a super chat.
He's the super Apple fanboy that I see on Twitter all the time, right?
Massive Apple fanboy. Oh yeah, seriously, like Tim Cook and him have like late night sexy talk. It's wonderful. And he did say that the $9 was for sexy time services, so I guess I'll just here you go there. Oh my God, it's good to see you, bud. I didn't even know that he'd even poke his head in here right here. But guys, go give Front Page Tech a sub. He actually is really high production value. Does a news show.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Serious business.
God, I hate that we're off. We're off by just enough milliseconds that me and you, we always talk at exact. We're like those people that like cross in the hallway and we go back and forth. It's like no, go left, go right, go left, go right. It's like so hard. But you just got to keep doing it to build that cadence.
Yeah.
The best way to do it is just walk on me. If you start talking, just keep talking. I'll shut the fuck up.
That's fine.
That's the best way to do it. Toothless said big centralized AC. He gave us another 1,000 rupees.
Whoa, rupees.
For big centralized AC. Did he say something in the last comment about an AC?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, he said big fan. I get it. Big fan.
Clever.
That was some deep jokage right there, man. Deep jokage, my friend. So now that it looks like we've given people enough time to come in here, we got about 446 people on deck.
That's pretty good.
Should we talk about how you secure yourself online?
Yeah, this is your topic for sure, because I don't really think about it.
The irony is Front Page Tech happens to be one of the people that I talked about this very subject with at Vlogger Fair with Chris Perillo years and years and years ago.
Oh, thank you.
This is specifically for Aux, Jerry No Touch. Well, little does he know, I control the 1099 MISC payments.
Yeah, well, you can just PayPal me if you'd like.
It's okay. I'll give you the $9.99, but first I got to take tax, and then I got to take a service fee, and then I've got to take the service fee for the service that I rendered.
My medical insurance. You know.
Nemesis Tech said, "Are you still running that crypto mining system?" Not at the moment. I need to get a friend to help me move it upstairs and into a crawl space. Yeah, it's that heavy. It's really that heavy. Because I need to surround it with noise dampening foam so that I can run it 24/7. Because right now nobody in the house can sleep. Even if I put it on the far end of the house, I put it in the laundry room, doesn't matter. It's that loud. Ivan said, let's start a donate war, 2,500 RSDs. So we got the RSDs versus the rupees. The dinars versus the rupees. Wow, man, look at this. All you got to do is just put a bunch of like charts on the screen and it just magically happens. Look at it.
I love it.
You want to take Charles' question?
Oh, what was Charles's question? Oh, let's see. What do you think about Linux and the development of DXVK?
Yeah, what do you think about that? Even though it was addressed to me, I didn't realize that until just now.
No clue. I haven't used Linux in any way for many years.
Really?
Since like Red Hat 2 or something. My dad was dabbling in Red Hat 2 or something, and I don't know what DXVK is.
That actually kind of surprises me a little bit that you don't know more about Linux. You kind of take me as a dude like that'd be dabbling around and messing around with that stuff.
I don't got time for that.
So DXVK is the DirectX port basically to Linux. So you basically have DirectX on Linux. I haven't done much with it. I know that their compatibility has gone way through the roof, like compared to what it was even a year ago, but it's still pretty finicky. So yeah, until they get it like completely stabilized, I'm not looking to move from Windows to a Linux operating system. But I will tell you, I'm open to it. I am actually open. Oh wait, is it the DX Vulkan? Oh no, sorry, no, DXVK is the Vulkan thing. Converts DirectX to Vulkan. Wait, but was it for Linux or is that going to be on Windows too? What am I thinking of? The DirectX on Linux. DXVK. Here, let me look it up.
Yeah.
So it's DXVK, a Vulkan-based implementation of DirectX. Oh, but it is for Linux. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, no, I don't know of any DirectX to Vulkan technology on Windows. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. So this is what I thought it was. They only go up to DirectX 11 though. So and DirectX 12 is pretty much the hotness now. However, did you see?
Is it?
It is.
I've heard people been having problems. So I don't know.
Actually, it wouldn't make sense. Actually, I'm going to take that back. That you'd need DXVK for DirectX 12 anyways, because DirectX 12 already kind of takes the steps to be like Vulkan in that it allows direct hardware access. So at that point, it'd be kind of it'd be a lossful cause. I think it's better for them to just stick with going up to DX11, but that's cool because that means DX11 and all the DirectXs before that weren't direct hardware access through Vulkan, they would be. So by creating that little translation layer that makes them all direct to hardware access, that should speed up games like significantly on modern hardware. But I don't know about the compatibility. It's just like Wine. Wine is the same way. Like Wine does an okay job, but it doesn't replace like actual Windows. Like it can run a lot of stuff, but it's little quirks and stuff doesn't work right and a lot of timing issues. Everybody tells me, dude, you got to try this, man. It's going to be the best thing ever. Every experience I've ever had installing Linux and Wine and trying to like duplicate my environment, running like Adobe Premiere and Photoshop and my graphically accelerated application stuff, it always ends in absolute pain and suffering. So, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a couple more super chats here. Breaking Elegance, thank you for the $3 for the Toilet Squad. Dude, I'll tell you what, you're lucky I'm not in the room with you because I am very sick right now and things are coming out of at least one of the two holes. Nick, thank you for the $5. He said, hey, do you have any comment on Simplify 3D with how they're deleting user comments and cut communication with anything about the future of the product? Here's the thing with Simplify 3D, okay? It used to be, okay, this is a 3D. First, I'll explain it to the people who don't know. That's actually why I love having a co-host, because we can go back and forth and explain these things. Yeah. So Simplify 3D used to be the most popular slicer, arguably, in the world for 3D printing. So basically, it was the thing that takes your 3D model like this and just cuts it into little bisections. And, so the printer prints one layer. So different slicers can give you like different features and dramatic results. Well, they created basically the Visual Studio of slicers, meaning it had every feature in it, but it also made it really confusing and have a steep learning curve. But the problem with it is over the last couple of years, it's been going downhill like radically. It has so many bugs in it that have wasted so many prints and so much filament, and people are paying good money for this thing. It is not cheap. I don't remember how much it was when I got my license because I paid for it, but I want to say I paid like $100 for it or something. It was ridiculously expensive. And I never use it because it took them over 2 years to fix a bug where if you have an overhang, you print something that has like something that you need to print out over empty space. It's supposed to know to build a support underneath it. And it wouldn't. It would just slice it. You'd start printing it. You'd get to that layer, and it would just go out and start dumping filament over empty space. And it's like, even the most amateur software out there, the slicer out there, won't do that. So, but now it sounds to me like, and I've heard this too, Nick, that they're actually deleting users' comments and they're ignoring communications and blocking users in forums because people are really mad. They pay a lot of money for this product and they want a better experience. But of course, that's impacting their sales. So, of course, they're going to silence everybody so that they can just sweep it under the rug and keep on selling crap. But I don't use it anymore. If you're wondering what my opinion is on, I genuinely do not use it anymore. And Nick, thank you so much for that $5 super chat. We appreciate it. Gaming is at Gaming Mad I Rock says, Nerdgasm, what do you think of the Opera GX browser? I haven't used an Opera browser in forever.
Same, and I've heard I've been.
Whoa, you went all robotic there for a second.
Oh, what?
What'd you just say?
hold on. What's happening? Wow, my video on the stream wigged out for a second there too. I haven't used Opera in many years as well. I was probably still in high school, but I've been seeing ads and some hubbub and talk, and I might have to check it out.
Okay, somebody asked me politely, and I love when people ask me politely. I like to do stuff when people ask politely. They asked me if I'd move. This is the box I think they want me to move. You want me to move this over here somewhere? Like that? There we go. You'll see.
Because the alert was popping up right over the list. Yeah.
Right
okay.
God, I love how easy. So, you know what? My favorite feature so far in SL OBS, which keep in mind before this stream, I hated Streamlabs OBS just on principle, but they finally put Control Z in. If you make a mistake or you move something you didn't mean to, which happens all the time, you guys know, if you stream, you know exactly what we're talking about. Now you can Control Z it and go right back, and I absolutely love that. See, John Christakos said, oh, that was the donation history box. So we did. Thank you for suggesting that, because it looks like a bunch of other people below are like, yes, woo. Opera was selling users data and some other fishy stuff, Stars says. I mean, I'd have to verify that, but if they're doing that, that's a pretty quick way to kill your user base, isn't it?
Right. Wait, now you went super quiet for a second. Weird. What the heck is going on?
Oh no, the internet is failing. Let me check my stream
weird.
and my analytics. Okay, well, everything here, it shows no drop frames or anything on my side, so
it's probably me.
Yeah, I think it's just little blips. Chris, thank you for the $2. We can't read that word because it's a demonetized word now on the platform, and the second we say it, they put a bunch of advertisements around our video from the WHO. And so we can't say it. But yes, I did see that news, and it is scary as hell. And some people think that I'm overreacting by being afraid of that, but I get sick pretty easily, and I've had respiratory things before, so I don't play with that. But yeah, that is pretty scary. I'm waiting for them to release more information on it. And thank you for that super chat. Toothless just threw another 1,000 rupadoopies at us. Said, in previous Intel processor architecture have virus vulnerability. They released a BIOS update, but I'm worried. It wasn't just a BIOS update. It was also a CPU microcode update.
Yeah, it was a fairly involved update. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure somebody in chat will straighten me out. I think with the 9000 series stuff, or no, it's a chipset thing. So I think with the 390s, you're okay. I know for sure the 10,000 series CPUs have it built in, whatever the fix is. Yeah.
Did they change the architecture at all, or did they just apply the fix? Because I heard the fix actually is a pretty bad performance hit under certain conditions.
I'm not really sure what they did. I just know that with I know for sure the 10,000 series CPUs have whatever fix it's baked in. And I feel like some of that performance issue wasn't so bad because it was bad at the beginning, but Windows fixed whatever that problem was. Something to do with like process scheduling or something.
Oh, I do remember. Yeah, one of them was fixed at the OS level, another one was fixed at the CPU microcode level. But I know the CPU microcode level one, I thought they said actually like in multi-threaded situation or something like that, it added more onto the stack, basically for the CPU and slowed down. I'd have to go look again. It's been a long time since I looked into it. Yeah, but I didn't notice any performance hit though personally, like everything that I was doing.
I feel like it was like it wasn't like a real world problem. It was like almost like a synthetic benchmark problem. Like it would only show up because of how the benchmarking worked or whatever, but people in real life weren't actually encountering any big deal. And if they were, I think it has since been fixed.
Yeah, I'm glad that they fixed it. And from what I heard, it really wasn't even that big of a vulnerability unless you had like a payload still had to be executed on the box to take advantage of it.
Yeah, you needed physical access. We're talking about the Spectre thing.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. There was Spectre and WannaCry, I think, were the two different ones.
Right, yeah. I think at least with Spectre, you needed physical access to the machine for it to be exploitable.
The only thing I wish that users had a more of a choice in it, like whether they wanted to take the patch or not. Like early on they did, but now it's like it's forced down by Microsoft because of course they don't want the liability of it if somebody does get the virus. But if it does represent a performance hit, I think the end user should ultimately get the choice of not taking it and without having to like forfeit every single update in the future because it's predicated on
right.
So that bugged me a little bit. that Microsoft did that. But the other thing is the CPU microcode stuff kind of eludes me. Like I don't know a whole lot about it. I used to be an assembly dev like back in the day, but I never really understood like what exactly the CPU microcode was doing. Like I know that it's basically like an abstraction layer on the CPU that controls how it does very specific low level things.
Right.
Kind of like I guess you could kind of call it a BIOS for the CPU, but I didn't even know you could overwrite it like as a consumer. Like that kind of shocked me when that came out. I was like, wait a second. Like you'd think they'd cut the pins off to be updating CPU microcode, and it also opens the question of have other people played with it? Is there like an open source community? It's like messing with microcode on processors to try to get higher overclocks, or
I think so I do know that at least BIOS level, you can write your own like custom BIOSes and stuff. I know that's a thing, or that you can like get back in there and fiddle with BIOSes. As far as like the microcode like that I'm sure it's possible. Like if there's a way they can do it in their own lab, I'm sure somebody's got a basement lab that can do it too. Like that's just hacking, right?
We've already seen people doing it to GPUs, right? Like I've heard a lot about people reflashing like custom firmwares and stuff to NVIDIA GPUs. So somebody had to reverse engineer it at some point to do that, because I'm pretty sure NVIDIA isn't just like handing out the SDK for like modifying the firmware on their graphics cards.
Yeah, I don't think so. But I mean, people are. I mean, if you got a smart guy who built a tool, you got another smart guy who can make another tool. Yep. So like, yeah, I'm sure just in the same way that people are able to look at like bootloaders on cell phones and stuff, there's a way to plug in a CPU to a special thing and
you don't really have to though. Like that's the thing with the CPU. You could install the Spectre update CPU microcode right through the operating system. Like you could, so that's crazy. Like you have access to it just with your computer right there. And I never knew that you had that level of access, right? Because usually with a device like your phone or something like that, where you do firmware updates, the true firmware update, or the thing that's running at the hardware level on each individual chip, basically in the phone, is locked down. Like you'd have to pull that chip out and literally put it into a device to reprogram it. There's no pathway to do it through software. So I just thought that was kind of interesting that you could do that. And I wonder if anybody's ever messed around.
I'm sure there's some forums or something out there we could find.
Because, dude, if you could change the CPU microcode, does that mean you can also like redesignate a CPU and sell it like falsely? Like go get yourself a shitty, like crappy, like unbinned, low level, like old 9700K or something, to make it like the top tier. So have it report to the BIOS as like this top tier thing, but just pull the BIOS multiplier back a little bit so that it still says it's that processor, but technically boots. Like that sounds like shit that like Wish.com would do.
yeah, exactly.
Hey, Dave gave us a list of Intel had Meltdown. I remember Meltdown. Spectre, Zombie Load. I didn't hear Zombie Load. I'll have to look that one. Cash Out, and a bunch of other similar related issues. I remember reading through the list of them on LTT Level 1 Tech's forum thread. Wow, so Intel's kind of run the gamut. Now, I know that like one or two of those was on AMD also. I do remember that it was a fundamental architectural problem that plagued like x64 in general. But one of them I know was just Intel. They didn't affect AMD in any way, which is I kind of laugh a little bit because now AMD is just like kicking everybody's ass. I used to hate AMD and tease AMD and say AMD was for poor people. And I used to laugh when CPU manufacturers were like recommending Intel over AMD. And it seems like within like a 6-month period, everybody has changed. Like
it's this current generation. The 3rd gen Ryzen stuff is they're finally neck and neck. It's really cool. And if it weren't for the fact that Intel cut the prices in half of their I can't remember exactly the code name or whatever, but they cut the prices of some of their top tier CPUs in half. The value, that's the only way they made it. That's why they're like the value choice in certain instances now. And
so I wonder how much money AMD is actually making on the overhead, because they're a 7 nanometer now, if I remember right. They're the first to 7 nanometer, which kind of shocked me because Intel has so much more money and so many more resources, and I think they got lazy or they got complacent.
Yeah, I think so too. When you're at the top of the stack for 30 years, Yeah.
Front Page Tech said he wants to join us as another co-host on a future episode. So I think
that'd be so fun.
We'll do that next week. Let's throw you up on a little window right in between us. I'll just put another window like right there between us in the middle, and we'll just have little John sitting there talking to us.
I don't think I've properly met John. I don't think.
Really?
Maybe, I don't know. Oh, that'd be so much fun.
You know what? Come to think of it, John, I think I've maybe like 3 times. I think we've met in real life, and I think most of those times were through Chris Perillo back in the day. I don't remember the last time I saw you, John. Do you remember the last time that we actually like physically saw each other? Because I want to reminisce about that memory. I want it to come forward so that I have some material later when I'm all alone in the shower. I want to say it was Vlogger Fair. I want to say Vlogger Fair was like the last time that we were physically together. And literally, the funny thing about him coming in right now is the first topic that we've waited forever to get to is actually the topic I did with him at Vlogger Fair, which was like how to protect yourself online.
Oh, that's right. We got a little.
You did a little robotic thing there again. I don't know.
We got a little distracted.
It happens. Well, no. Actually, this is funny. On my morning coffee show that I do over on Twitch, I actually tell everybody that only the last hour of the show is the topics, and I usually stream for like 6 hours. So it's like it'll be like 5 hours of just nonsense I take from the chat, and then in the last hour, everybody's like, "No, you didn't talk about the topics." And then I just talk about the topics for like 1 hour, and then that's it.
There you go.
At least I get to it, man. So you can't say I didn't.
That's right. That's right.
Let's see. Front page tech said, last time was probably Vlogger Fair. Yeah, not as fun as getting drunk at Chris's house. Oh my god. I used to go to Chris's house. I'd get drunk and I'd go in his bathroom, and it had like this little sliding door, and it was right between the kitchen and like his living space where everybody was, and I'd just be in the bathroom just making noise. Be like, "Oh, I'm pooping in here." And Chris is like, "Oh my god, shut up, Jerry." Yeah, I'm just as obnoxious in real life as I am on the internet.
That's great.
Or at least I used to be. Farmin' Boy once said, how do you get around a need for password for local users on Windows 10 Pro? Ooh, that's actually a good question. Do you guys, do you know of a good way to do that?
Oh, I'm sorry, say again.
So getting rid of the password to log into Windows 10 Pro, like if you just want to have an account that you just automatically logs in, so you don't have to like type in a password?
Oh, I know there's a way.
There's 2 ways to do it that I know of.
I'm not sure off the top.
Windows 10 Pro auto login. I know they took out the old auto login method, so let me see. Okay, yep, this is the way that I know. So if you drop out to command prompt, type control space user password 2, all one word. Here, I'm going to paste this in the chat. So type this in CMD. See, I'm just going to open up the control panel for this old legacy feature. Let me make sure it's still in there and they didn't remove it. Nope, it's still in there. Sweet. So then all you do is when you open that up is you click on the user, and then you say, uncheck the box that says users must enter a username and password to use this computer, and then it'll ask you for the password, and then you hit OK, and it'll store it encrypted in the registry, and the next time you reboot your computer, you just click on the tile, and it'll log you right in.
Awesome.
So there you go, man. Look, we're giving that advice. I can't believe that's still around. User password 2 is literally from like Windows 3.1 days. Like that, or I shouldn't say Windows. No, it'd be right when NT merged with 9X. It'd be a Windows XP. It would have been a Windows XP launch feature. So, and they still left it in. That's hard to say for a lot of things nowadays. A lot of the legacy UI has been torn out in Windows 10. Like, you notice how the control panels just like everything's disappearing now that they've successfully moved it into the new stuff.
Yeah, they keep hiding stuff. Every new version like hides. Especially what troubles me the most is control panel. Like. Yeah. Windows 98 XP, it was really easy. You had everything just like right there, and they've like recategorized a lot of stuff, and it's like buried and things like that. It's me.
Yeah, what I don't like is now you open control panel, you have to go up in the corner and change view by from default category to like large or small icons. Then you can finally see everything, but you'll notice that there's only about 1/10 as many options as there were back in like Windows 7. And it's because every time they had it, they build the new UI for it that was in like the the tablet UI or whatever they call it, the modern UI. Every time they moved it to the modern UI, they'd leave the old feature in for like 1 or 2 major updates, and then they'd pull it out and wouldn't tell anybody. Yeah. So I got so used to opening up just the old control panel stuff that like it disappeared, and I'd be like, oh, if it disappeared, I bet you it's now permanently over in the new place. So I'd have to relearn everything. I'm sure that pissed off a lot of people. Oh my God, Toothless just gave us another 40 rupees. He said, NetPL lets you log in automatically. Ooh, is that? I've heard of that one. Oh, that's the same exact thing. Toothless, that's the same exact thing as the control command, just way easier to remember.
Okay.
So there you go. So NetPL opens up the user account wizard. It's the same thing as typing control space and the other thing I did. Oh, Finn already said that too. Finn Anderson, I'm sorry I missed your comment. He already said that it's the same thing. So but yeah, and the thing, you know what I would tell you though, is just be careful doing stuff like that, because even though your computer's like in your house, And it's an administrator account and you allow it to log in with just a simple click like that, I mean, you're opening yourself up for like somebody to come into your house and just like plug something into your computer and click that and log in and do stuff. And people do mess with your computer. Like, don't ever trust anything. I so don't want to hide that message, but I'm gonna. Did you see that in chat? Hey, Your Highness, I'm sorry I had to block that message, but I didn't want to. I really didn't want to. I'll tell you about it later.
Oh, okay.
I really didn't want to, but I had to, unfortunately. Miss Liz said, yeah, I was unsure too. Jerry laughing my ass off.
Oh.
I'll tell you later. It's definitely something that we don't want to talk about.
Okay.
Tyler B said, finally made it in. Good to see Houston again. And odd to see you live, but not on Twitch. Dude, I have confused so many people by being on both platforms now. They're having a hard time differentiating. Like, why are you on YouTube? Why aren't you on Twitch? Or if when I'm on Twitch, they're like, why aren't you over on YouTube? And the reason being is I want to keep Tech Talk completely separated from my morning coffee stuff I do on Twitch. Because on Twitch, I go full send. I get way out of control over there. Like, to the point of like, oh my God, I'm surprised Twitch hasn't even banned me. And so Twitch lets me get away with a lot more over there than YouTube does from a live streaming sense. But from a video upload sense, YouTube is a better platform for that. So I leverage multiple things. If you ever want to get into this business, don't just like stick with one thing. You'll just die off. You have to diversify.
For sure. Oh yeah, for sure.
Let me see. I think I have
more content, more better.
Where did my I lost the dashboard. How did I lose a whole dashboard? Breaking Elegance, thank you for the $2 tip. He said FAAPA, so Safapata. I hope that doesn't mean anything like really offensive. Michael J. Morrison, thank you for the 20 Canadians. He said, what software for making videos and what can you recommend for online learning starting from scratch on this? And then it got truncated. Come on, damn it. You can do better than this. Starting from scratch on this learning. Software for making videos, honestly, I use Adobe Premiere because I'm kind of like stuck using Adobe Premiere for the time being. But if I was starting from scratch, I would go DaVinci Resolve, 100%. 100%. Now, here's the thing is you got iMovie and stuff like that. If you're on Apple, you can still use DaVinci Resolve. But like if you have like Apple iMovie and stuff, that's really easy to learn. It's super straightforward. But if you want to edit videos and have a lot of headspace to do really professional stuff and optimize all your hardware and use all your hardware, DaVinci Resolve is just kicking everybody's ass. And it's free. It's absolutely 100% free. So,
which is really cool. If you only really have to pay for Resolve if you want to start getting into multi-GPU rendering. Which, if it's just at home, you probably don't need to.
Front page tech said, "Fa pa ta is front page tech, you doof." I replied back, I said, "That's dumb. That's dumb, John.
Sense, you know, yeah.
John, that's dumb." Hey, Puppet Matt, thank you for the $5. He said, "I'm ready to cry. Keto sucks." Man, I'm glad you're still sticking to it. He's been at it for a couple of weeks now. You should be over the keto flu though. If you're not, you might want to go see your doctor if it's still screwing you over. He said, at the group home, we're fixing up taters and onions. Always, so we can't eat it. Anyways, hope you're all doing great. Well, I'm still sick and running on like NyQuil and Mucin XD, Afrin, and after the stream, I mix a little Benadryl in there just for good measure. PK Beast, you want to take that one?
Is there a way to get morning coffee VOD onto YouTube, even if on a separate channel? Would love to see the backlog, but not a Twitch fan. The easy answer is yes.
Yep.
All he's got to do is click literally one button. Actually, you can directly export. You can directly export to YouTube from the Twitch backend.
Yeah, actually, I do have something in the works for Tech Talk. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it with Morning Coffee yet, but for Tech Talk, we're definitely going to syndicate to a podcast. And you actually were the one that told me about the program, right? What's it called?
Anchor FM.
So Anchor FM, it's just an app that you can install. You can also go to the webpage. And it basically lets you set up a system where you upload a video to it, or audio rather. You strip the audio from the video, you upload the audio to it, and it basically puts it out on like Spotify, iTunes, Google, whatever. It basically puts it on like everything. I just got to finish setting that up. As far as the YouTube thing, moving the stuff from Twitch to YouTube, I may do that. If it's as easy as me just clicking the button and saying, go ahead and upload it to one of my YouTube channels that's not my primary channel. The reason I don't want to upload it to the primary channel just because it's going to negatively impact the analytics so bad because it's like a 4 to 8 hour stream every other day and it would clog stuff up. So yeah, I may actually do that. If that's something that more people are interested in than just you, I may go figure that out. Front page text said, that's dumb, says the guy who spells Barnacules, Barnacules. Hey, John. John, you know how spelling works, okay? You just cut the words in half and glue them together. That's how you do it.
It's like you take like a cow barn and Hercules and you smush them together.
That's what you do. That's what you do, man. Just to take Hercules, chop it in half. You take that barnacle, you chop it in half. That's what you get. It is kind of funny, though. A lot of people do call me Barnacules, which I guess would technically be the right pronunciation. Yes, but enough people get it messed up that I don't feel like everybody knows that it should be Barnacules. And I still get the occasional 1 in 4 that actually do say Barnacles that have never read it before. So at least there are some people out there that have a brain as fucked up as mine that puts it together in the same way. So I'm good. Dude, it's better than a symbol. Come on, Prince had a symbol. If he can have a symbol, I can spell shit however I want. It's a name. It's not a word. John, John made me feel self-conscious.
Aww.
John, you hurted my feelings. You hurted my feelings. Don't fuck with the guy's name. Come on, Jesus. Rhinosaurus said most morning coffees would be demonetized and blocked. No, all morning coffees would be demonetized and blocked on YouTube. As a matter of fact, if I do check the box to say upload it to YouTube, I bet you within 1 week, like half the videos will just be deleted. Because YouTube won't tolerate like the stuff I talk about over there. Like literally yesterday's, I can't even tell you like the topic we talked about yesterday on the stream, and my wife was on the stream. Basically, we were going back on the story of how she like took my my virginities. So we told the story of that for like an hour, and apparently I messed up some details. So Miss Barnacules wanted to come on the show and clarify, so I had to give her the microphone and let her explain. But it went way darker than that. So, we'll just leave it at that. Hey, Toothless, he said, does China's shutdown of the can't say thing affect mobile and PC products? Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a hard yes. I mean, you can't go into too much details on it, but yeah, when you affect the supply chain, that's literally like 80% of the world's supply for like everything that matters, it becomes a problem. The biggest thing that we've seen so far here where I live in Seattle is the container ships that are coming into the port of Seattle are only like loaded to 40% capacity. And they said that that's like never happened before. They said that the freighters that come in from China normally 100%. So that just goes to show that we're just now seeing the reduction. And they take a month to get from there to here. So think about it. They got loaded at 40% a month ago. So I think moving forward, we're going to see a trend that's way delayed. So
yeah. We won't really hurt. It won't really start hurting for another couple months.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for everything to hit absolute like Mad Max rock bottom, and then I'm just gonna go full send on the stock market. Like,
hey man, that's another thing we talk about, how things are kind of down right now.
Oh, massively, like record breaking. Like
this is the time to buy.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I'd wait a little while longer because I think uncertainty is still destabilizing it. I don't know. Is it actually up today? I kind of want to look. I'm curious because I do think that it could go up and then go down again. But let's see. What does the DJI look like today? Not DJI. Come on. Stop. I type in DJI and Bing's like, you want to buy a drone? Right? Oh, it's up today. Okay, it is up. It is up a little. No, never mind. Down 357 points today. Another 1.39%. Oops.
Oh,
that's not good.
What? Oh, damn.
So yeah, it's still tankering. Let me look at the week. It's trying. You know what? If you were a day trader, though, oh my God, buy in the morning, sell in the afternoon. The last 3 days have tanked in the morning, gone up, tanked the next day, gone up. Like, if it follows that trend, you could day trade yourself into some serious cash if you got some money laying around.
A doomsday prepper channel? That'd be fun.
I don't consider myself like a doomsday prepper, but I do like prepping at a minimal level. Man, I'm game, John, like anything these days. I'm game for just about anything. I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things because I've been out of it for like 6 or 8 months. The live streaming stuff has been huge for me getting back to a normal cadence. Like I even do it when I'm sick. I force myself to do it, like no matter how bad I'm hurting. And because I've done that so many times now, it started to build that habit again. And I didn't realize how important habits are. They're not just bad things.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like I had to build up that habit, but now that it's there, it's like it's easier for me to do these things. Like I can wake up, like this morning I woke up, I was in total pain. I couldn't freaking sleep hardly at all last night because the sinuses were so clogged. The CPAP couldn't get the pressure through, so I was like suffocating and mouth breathing like a fish. And then finally, when I woke up this morning, I got up at like 7, and I was like, screw it, I can't get back to sleep. Went and took some cold medicine, took a hot shower, tried to clear out the system. But I was like, no way am I not streaming today. And so I just worked on things, drank coffee, took my cold medicine, got everything. And it's like, I actually feel pretty decent, all things considered right now. So if I acted on that first impulse like I used to, you know, waking up in the morning just being like, oh man, I got to rest, man, I feel like death. It's like sometimes you got to push a little bit and you start to feel better. And my brain's starting to accept that.
Nice.
That would be pretty funny though. Like John and I doing like a prepper show. That would be great. Because I mean, I talked about prepping a little bit on my other show. Like I do keep 50 gallons of like clean water in a drum in my garage where it doesn't freeze in the wintertime. I do have like a 6-month supply of like dried goods, you know, dry packed goods. And, you know, so that I can, you know, it's not the best food in the world. Like good luck, you know, you have to supplement it with vitamins and stuff like that. But it's like, I got enough stuff to like survive if like we had a major disaster. And that makes me feel good.
And beans. That's all you need.
What do you
Pancakes and beans.
Pancakes and beans. That's the recipe for prepping.
Stacks, yeah, man. Stacks and stacks of dry pancake mix and beans to make up for the protein loss in the pancake mix. Because the pancake mix has got dried milk and eggs in it. It's got your sugars and carbs and things like that. And then like beans or peanut butter, I think would be okay. But there's a lot of sugar in peanut butter.
That's true.
But yeah. Pancakes and beans. It'll get you there. You won't be happy, but you'll live.
Does peanut butter naturally have a lot of sugar? Or is that just an additive and a stabilizer?
No, they add.
They do. Okay, I thought so because I was like, peanuts don't seem like they would be a high sugar staple, but they got a lot of good fat in them, right? Like I think nuts in general are like a staple that you want to have when you want to survive because it's like high calories, lots of fat. Yeah,
I think like almonds are a better fat. I think, but peanuts are just easier to acquire. I think cheaper.
I'm not a big fan of walnuts and almonds. Those are the two nuts that I feel like have no flavor. It literally feels like you're just chewing on packing material. I did see something that was interesting right here. So Nick actually had a response to the previous question as to does this affect manufacturing? The thing that's going on right now. And Nick said, as much as I hate to disagree, manufacturing will almost never come back to America. America's infrastructure and manufacturing support is years, if not decades, behind China's.
Yeah.
And I have to agree with that. And even if we did bring the manufacturing back here, it would be at such a cost differential that it would create a whole bunch of different problems. I'm not going to say it's impossible. I'm just going to say it would take a long time. It's not something that we can just snap our fingers and do it. It has to happen over a very long time. Oh, you're getting a little pixely there, mister.
Yeah, you did too there for a second.
Did I? Is Discord deciding it doesn't like us anymore? Come on,
maybe.
Discord. Be nice, Discord.
Yeah, what WTF?
Hey, PK Beast, thank you so much for the super chat. 5 pounds? Is it a pound or is that a euro? That's a pound. Okay,
yeah, that's a pound.
He said, if you can't get morning coffee on YouTube, is there a way to download Twitch VODs on mobile for offline viewing like you can with YouTube Premium? I don't think you can.
Nope, not from the user side.
You know what, PK Beast? Just because you mentioned that, and I didn't even consider that before, honestly, that you couldn't download the episodes and listen to them on the go, I will make sure that I find a way to get that on like at least Spotify or iTunes or something. I'll get it on some platform to where you can actually like cache it and take it with you. Because not everybody has like 8 hours to sit around and listen to a fat guy complain about things. Hey, Toothless, thank you for another 100 rupees. He said, does China shut down? Oh, sorry, I already read that one. I think, did we miss any other ones? No, the keto one.
No, I think
was good.
We're all caught up.
Just making sure that I'm caught up on that. Try VLC. Oh, I didn't even think about that. So VLC can take an RTMP stream and buffer
That's true.
it. So maybe if you could connect that to Twitch, and Twitch, you can pull the RTMP stream from the HTML, which I think they're using, just like everybody else does. You could probably just have VLC like download it super, super fast if they don't throttle it. And then you could probably even just save it to a file locally. That's something worth trying. Can't guarantee it'll work. VLC is pretty cool, by the way. If you haven't used VLC, not only is it for playing video of like every type, have every single like codec known to man like built into it, but the other thing I like about VLC is that you can actually do desktop and screen sharing through it. Like you can actually set up a stream and go to it like with a web browser or another instance of VLC and actually use it to like share a desktop that's just a video feed. It's pretty damn cool. I actually used it a long time ago to be able to take 2 machines and do a live stream before they had the built-in NTP stuff that you could get. Like I would use VLC to basically capture the screen of what I was doing and then send it over to an instance that was on that computer at the same frame rate, and then I could capture it into OBS on the other computer. And it worked really good for doing screen capture stuff.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Mr. Booberry said both your cams keep momentarily flashing. Yeah, we're just, I mean, little blips and stuff are bound to happen because we're using so much different infrastructure. It's like we're using a new program today to stream. We're using Discord, so we're relying on their infrastructure and their server stuff. We're both on different internet service providers. I mean, there's a lot of little things that can make things, but all things said and done, this is actually going way smoother than honestly I anticipated, having to like last minute switch everything from one streaming like platform to another, which is what I did this morning.
Yeah.
Let's see. What stocks would you buy as the market goes up? Ooh, that's a loaded and dangerous question to answer because everybody will lose their money if they listen to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
I don't give good advice because I don't understand the stock market enough to really invest with confidence, except for in some very like specific situations. I'll tell you what, right now though, you're probably pretty safe off doing is invested in like mutual funds and stuff like that, where the whole market is balanced, so that you basically pick it up at a low rate, but only if you can hold it for a long time. Don't do it if you just want to like stay in it for a little while.
That's huge. Yeah. Like that's honestly, like if you just want the easiest thing to do, the Vanguard S&P 500, they have a index fund or there's, I think they also have an exchange traded fund for it as well. It's basically set it and forget it. You dump your money into there and they spread it across the top 500 companies, right? It's the S&P 500 index.
Yep. Which fund is it?
And the Vanguard S&P 500
You know,
index.
that might actually be where my 401k is. That sounds really familiar to me. I think that's the one that I might be invested into.
I think it's VOO. I think the trading the trade ticker symbol for it is VOO.
And those are generally safe. Like if you nothing's 100% in the stock market, but the nice thing about doing these funds is they basically balance these indexes with hundreds, if not thousands, of stocks, and they do it in such a way that when one stock goes down, it's almost certainly going to make another stock go up because they're competing in those markets, and it keeps it balanced. So what you're basically doing is you're buying into the stock market as a whole, instead of buying a tiny piece of the stock market. So it'd be the equivalent of you like sharing. Yeah. It's like sharing lottery tickets, right? Like if you bought 1 million lottery tickets with a bunch of people and then you all agreed to share the jackpot, you have a higher chance of winning. It's just a less amount of money. It's basically the same version of that with the stock market. And you know, it can go down. That's the scary thing about any kind of investment is, let's say you put it in and like we're having a crash right now, which, you know, I haven't checked my 401k, but I bet you I've probably lost a good $20,000 or $50,000 in like 6 days.
Right.
You can't look at that.
No, it's long term. That's the thing. That's a huge thing too. It's like you can't be emotional about your investments.
Yeah.
You have to think in terms of like, I don't know. If you want to get into day trading, then you're gambling.
It is gambling. 100% gambling. Although I will,
you could be doing blackjack.
Yeah, there are people though that do know how to. So there's a couple ways that you can almost get, like, not guaranteed, but you can improve your odds dramatically with day trading, and that is a lot of people will use programs and services that are custom that not everybody has access to. Like, I can't remember, there's one YouTuber that he created his own that just basically just does day trading, and sometimes it'll only hold a stock for seconds. And, and he does like thousands and thousands of transactions a day, because he basically says anytime the stock goes above what his fee will be for the trade, and because he does trades at such high volumes, his fee is a lot lower.
Right.
And so he's just sitting there watching, and his computer is literally just monitoring. He's got like 20 screens on his computer. You guys have probably seen him before. And he just basically just sits back, and all he does is every once in a while he corrects things, like his little math and stuff. He'll go in there and change the algorithms just a little bit. But he seems like he's mostly profitable.
Yeah.
Like
there's some really cool AI. There's actually, I think, a couple streams on Twitch where that's basically what it does. He's like, I gave $1,000 to this AI trading software that I wrote, and let's see what happens. And you know, and that's kind of what some of these like robo advisors and some of these like higher end financial firms and stuff will do, where they are making thousands of transactions in seconds, kind of thing.
Let's be honest. If you have a large like financial company managing your portfolio, I guarantee you that they have some internal proprietary software and their own algorithms and everything to differentiate them from other people, and they're basically using that as their baseline, and then just putting a little bit of humanity on top of it to kind of fine tune things. because there's no way in the modern society you're like, you have like your dude managing your account and he's sitting there every day looking through your whole portfolio and see which stocks are doing good and which ones are doing bad. All he's doing is just like, adjusting the weight on the likelihood of it buying or selling at a certain price. You know what would be a fun Codegasm, though? That would be a fun Codegasm episode, would be to create a Fidelity account. And they have an SDK. So they actually have an SDK where you can basically have it do the trades for you. And they give you basically a certificate. And by you having the certificate, that means that any trade you do is bound, just like you signed it yourself. I wonder if I wrote like a little Codegasm thing that literally all you do is put in a stock symbol and it buys one share and just waits for it to go. If it drops, it just holds it indefinitely. And then just buy like penny stocks. And just if it goes up by 1 cent, sell, or not 1 cent, but whatever the fee is, plus 1 cent, have it sell. And just let it just sit there with one stock and just dink around with it for a year and see if it's profitable or if it just ultimately dies. Fun. I think that would be a great project. I'll check it out after the stream, John. Yeah, cryptocurrency is the dumbest thing to invest in for sure. The stock. Okay, cryptocurrency probably is even worse than the stock market for predictability. I'll give you that. I will give you that, because even the people I know that are very close to cryptocurrency and the guys that are like one step away from the dude that like created the cryptocurrencies, they even have a hard time predicting it correctly. Yeah. And the problem is it's very similar to the stock market in that it's less about the company's success and it's less about how much money the company makes and its assets and everything. It's more about people's perceptions of the company. And the reason cryptocurrency like Bitcoin went up to $20,000 a coin, it all just comes down to just supply and demand and public opinion of the currency. If that public opinion like sways dramatically one day, the whole thing crashes to the ground. But it's not dissimilar from a stock market. Same thing can happen with the stock market. It just seems like it happens in way bigger swoops. Like Bitcoin can literally go up hundreds of dollars a day. Most stocks won't do that. Like there are exceptions.
I feel like Bitcoin as a currency, once it starts getting to be more widely adopted, or cryptocurrencies, I suppose, but I think Bitcoin will be the one that comes out because it's just got the name recognition. I think once it gets to be more like universally adopted as like a payment method, it'll level out. It'll be a lot more stable as a proper currency, that's why it's super weird and volatile right now. And like people think of it as like an investment vehicle, which I mean you can do. They call it forex trading, right? Where you trade currencies. Yeah, you buy Serbian dinar and sell it for Indian rupees because you're actually making a profit. You're getting more rupees or whatever. I'm just filling in variables, but like you can do that, and Bitcoin is another currency, and it's hot on the currency market, I suppose. But once it levels out, it'll become another foreign currency in a big way. It'll stabilize a lot more as just as a lot of other I suppose fiat currencies have done.
Yeah, there's quite a few different ways that you can invest your money. Like you said, you can do the fiat currencies, or you can even do precious metals, right? You have the gold, silver, platinum. All those precious metals are traded on the exchange and have their own set of rules and everything like that. Cryptocurrencies, a little bit more like the Wild West. There's not so much oversight, so you can technically get away with a lot more. But it also means that, when hacks happen and people make off with a bunch of coins and people, not a lot gets done. Well, really nothing gets done because nothing really can be done. That's kind of the whole point of the cryptocurrency in the first place. But another thing a lot of people don't know is you can also bet against the stock market. I know somebody who does something called shorting stocks. So what he does is he keeps his eye on the news, and when he sees, he keeps his eye on social media, and he looks for trends where people start talking about negativity spread about a company or about a certain product or something like that. And then he'll go find like the company that's like the head, or several companies that are like the leaders in that industry that's starting to see this little spark fire up, and he'll go bet again. He'll short the stock, which basically means he makes money if it goes down, but he owes money if it goes up. So it kind of works kind of like an option. But yeah, you can you can short these stocks, and those guys are having a heyday right now. Like right now where you see it crash and everybody's like, oh my God, stock market, it's killing everybody financially. No, people that short stocks right now are making like fortunes. Absolute fortunes. But what I hate about that is there's rules against what they can say publicly and things that they can do to cause fear, because that would be like insider trading. They're basically fixing the market. But the problem is there's a lot of celebrities and a lot of other people that are already doing it for them, so they don't have to. You know, they can already see these big people perpetuating stuff and see it growing and gaining momentum. And so they're like, oh, okay, this is like one step under a trending hashtag. I'm going to go dump a bunch of money into this and then just watch it just tank, like Elon Musk when he was, you know, smoking a joint or whatever with Rogan.
To buy back Tesla for 420 and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Short the Tesla stock right before he goes onto the cast, and at the end when he pops off, and then it just skyrockets after that. And so you just got to make sure you buy and you sell, and then wait for it to go up, and then just wait for Elon to do something stupid again. And then, you know, it's not a guaranteed payday, but it's like there are ways that you can improve your odds. It's a lot better odds than just going in and gambling and putting all on red or all on black, unless you're blindly investing, which I tried for a little while, which is really stupid. That is roulette, where you basically just go grab a stock that's like $3.12, look at its history, and go, oh, you know, it goes up 50 cents a day, it goes down 50 cents a day. I'm just gonna buy 100,000 shares of it at like, you know, 3 cents or whatever, and see if I can make a bunch of money. And then you realize the next day it goes down by like 2 pennies, or it drops off the exchange and you just lost all your money.
Yep.
So that's why I don't do any day trading or anything like that. But just like anything, if you have an expertise and you have the time and you have the computer resources to keep an eye on everything, and you can make a living, people do.
Just before the first gen Ryzen stuff was launched, and I suppose this may have been close to insider trading, honestly, because of my job, but I knew AMD was going to blow up. It was traded at $4 or something, and I feel like it was really anybody who had their finger in the like PC space at this point knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And now they're upwards of like $45-$50. If I had had extra money, I would have, and I would have squatted on it, because even now, I still think even now AMD is a good value. If they can do the same thing that they've done with graphics cards that they've done with CPUs, they're gonna kill it. But now I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. Well,
I could go back 4 years.
And the other thing too is, like, if you see a bunch of people saying like, don't buy a stock, and you see it very publicly, don't buy a stock, get out, that fear will cause people to get out. Like if it spreads enough. So that's a good time to short a stock, or that's a good time to time when you want to get into a stock. So you basically let the drama play out, and then you buy in as it's on its upswing. And in those cases where it's purely fear and it's not really backed by any significant fact, you're pretty much guaranteed to make at least something off of it, unless whatever the rumor was ends up being true and it blows up again. One of the biggest ones for me is Microsoft. So Microsoft, when it went up from 36, when I got laid off, the stock went from $36 up to I think like 40 or 50 bucks within a month, which was the most the stock has ever moved in like years and years and years, because Satya basically killed a third of the workforce. So they didn't have to pay a third of their employees. That shot profits up through the roof. The investors were super happy, and the stock went up to like 50 bucks. All the analysts were like, oh, Microsoft's not going to go above 50. This is just an artificial bloom. They're going to fall back down to 30 like they did. Nope, they went up to 60. Then they went up to 70. Then they like jumped up to 90. Then they jumped up to like 120. Now today, they're up 3%, even with the stuff that's going on right now. They're up 3% at $162. And I think at one point they were even higher than that. I think they made it like 163 or 164. No, they were higher than that. Let me see. What was their peak? Oh, gosh, almost 190. In the last month. So they've lost a lot this month. If you're invested in Microsoft, you're really sad this month overall. But here's the thing. If I had held my stock when I left the company, I'd be a multimillionaire today.
Yeah.
Like, so, but hindsight's 2020 with stock. You can't look at it that way. You really can't, because as long as you come out on top, same thing with cryptocurrency. I sold 14 Bitcoins, guys, for $336 a coin. And it was all profit. It was all profit. To mine those coins cost me, I think, about $190 in electricity or something like that when I factored it out. And my return on the investment was like $8,000. But imagine if I sold those 14 coins when it was 21 grand a coin.
Nice.
Like, my house be paid off, kid going to college, wife driving around in a Ferrari. I mean, but I can't be mad, because it's like the coin I did mine made money. I didn't lose any money. I made a good amount of money. So you have to be happy with that. But it's hard not to be depressed when it goes both ways, when you look at something and you're like, you just sell a stock and then it skyrockets. But it's like, if you sold a stock and a bunch of other people sold a stock, well, chances are that is going to change the curve in the market, and it's going to start going up. And then when people stop buying, it's going to start going down. It's the whole supply and demand thing. You just have to be used to it. But I am pretty close to kind of sticking my nose into that just a little bit. Like, again, with a reserve amount of money, just like you were going to the casino. Take yourself like $500, set it at the side, and say that once this is gone, I am not day trading or doing anything, or at least like for a year. Like every year, I'm not going to spend more than $500 on this, and then invest it, and just know that I can lose that money, so that I feel comfortable taking risks with it, and then try out some of these algorithms, try out some of these like little companies investment things, and take some high risk stuff. You know, pull in the high risk, high reward stuff, and just see how, you know, that way I don't have to get off my ass and go to the casino and pay twice as much taxes.
and that's the thing, is like you have to keep that emotional set where like, yeah, I'm going to use this money and pretend like it's already gone. I've spent it. It's gone. If you make money back, great.
Yeah. Yeah. Anthony, thank you so much for the $5 super chat earlier. He said, I'm a truck driver and would love to see TechTalk on Spotify. I'm going to make it happen, bro. I'm going to make it happen. Give me like a week, because apparently it takes a while for this platform to like, you know, get everything everywhere. But it'll start showing up. As a matter of fact, after the stream today, I'll spend the rest of my day working on getting that infrastructure set up so that happens. The one free man, thank you for the $5 super chat. He said, Extra can allow you to download Twitch VODs to your phone and format them to audio only. Oh, so there's an app called XTRA apparently that can allow you to download audio, Twitch shows to audio only versions. Worth a try.
That's cool.
Toothless just threw us another 100 rupadoops. He said, India moving to electric cars. I don't know if it's going to be as successful. Charging stations going to be a problem in India. What about in America? God, I can't even imagine India having electric cars with that many people and that population density and stuff, and their limited power generation capabilities. I don't know how you guys would pull that off, honestly. That wasn't in any way meant to be an insult towards India. I'm just saying you guys have a huge populace, and as far as I know, you guys don't have like a ton of excess power generation. So at least here in the United States, it's like we have a huge surplus in most like built up areas. Like we have our huge dam and power, you know, hydroelectric. Yeah. We get some of it from nuclear. Now we're starting to see wind farms and stuff opening up in the mountain range and stuff again. So we've got so many different power sources that we're still seeing a climb in cost for electricity because of Tesla. Thanks, Tesla. But overall, it hasn't impacted us too greatly. And it hasn't exceeded our capacity. Even we're like every third car on the road in Washington is a Tesla. Like I see nothing but Teslas everywhere now. They're like the new Volkswagen Bug, and in Seattle area. So as far as India though, man, if the videos are true, you know, and I see like 1 million cars, you know, and the congestion and people just like, I don't know how you generate enough electricity or even have the real estate for people to plug in long enough to charge. Like even gas stations at that point, I'd imagine in some areas would be really, really difficult.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God, dude, have you ever seen the India videos? Like now, granted, it's not all of India, just like anything else, right? They have the built-up areas. But I've seen some of these areas, like, was it Hyderabad or whatever, where it's like the intersections. People are literally pushing their bikes through the intersections, and, like, cars are pushing into them and, like, shoving them with their bikes and stuff. And I watch these videos, and I'm like, oh, my God. And there's a vlogger I watched that went over to India for the first time, and he's, like, walking through he's following his Indian friend, who's his guide. And his guide's like, you got to keep up, because he keeps getting like nudged and bumped into by cars and stuff. But the other guy's like playing, it's like Frogger. It's basically Frogger in real life. Toothless, can you confirm if this is just a bad stereotype, or is this real over there? Do you feel like you're playing Frogger every time you cross the street? I definitely want to know. Let's see. Anchor only took a few hours to get on Spotify for you, Mind Tech. Oh, good. So I'm going to finish setting it up today, and we'll see what it does. Who knows? Maybe we'll be syndicated tonight. Wouldn't that be cool? I hope that we do move to electric cars, though, because electric cars are finally hitting that point where not only are they just competition to fossil fuel powered vehicles, but they're actually exceeding them in just about everything. Like, oh yeah, they're doing great. Yeah, range, cost to power, torque, horsepower, which they don't rate it in horsepower, but the equivalent of horsepower. Right. It's just crazy that you can buy a car for like $60,000 that can out-accelerate $1 million supercar. Now they've got another, the Roadster, if that comes out, that's going to do like 260 some miles an hour. So basically like the Bugatti Chiron Supersport, it's going to out-accelerate at 0 to 60 and out-accelerate it all the way up to 260 some miles an hour. It's going to have a 600-mile range, not being driven like that, obviously, but 600-mile range. And it's going to cost like what? You could buy 10 of them for the cost of one Bugatti Chiron Supersport. I mean, it's still super expensive, but like when you look at it dollar for dollar. But the thing you have to worry about is with that 600-mile range, you have a 200 kilowatt battery pack. And with battery technology, it's like, how long does it take to charge that thing? Like, even if you have like the craziest liquid cooled charger with like a big baloney cord coming off it that's like 5 garden hoses, it's still to charge that thing up to 80% is probably going to take the better part of like an hour. Even with the super capacitor stuff they're doing. So I don't know. I don't know what the future is going to look like until they solve that problem. That's the bottleneck. Everything else is there. The motor technology, the electronic controllers, all the stuff, the power to weight, everything is 100% there. The batteries are just the one thing that they got to figure out. They have to get the charging time shorter, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's going to be helpful.
James Janus, what did he say up here? He said, how do you feel about the PC SJW movement that's going on and how it affects video games? People offend things like main characters, a white man not being a black female, even when not makes sense. I think people are thinking too much.
People are making too big a deal about it on both sides.
They are.
Okay. Like, a recent thing I saw that was blowing up on Twitter was Battle State Games, the guys who make Escape from Tarkov, said that they're not going to be putting in female character models. I don't agree with their reasoning because they said, "Oh, it's too difficult to like model women or whatever," which is bullshit. I don't buy into that. But whatever. I don't think this is going to be kind of touchy because. Whatever.
Oh, you're going to be the one that takes us into touchy territory? Yes.
I don't think it's necessary that we have like full representation in every single thing.
Yeah.
Like I understand the need for representation in media. I think that it is important to see more of like people of color main characters or female main characters and things like that. I don't think it's necessary for it to be in every single thing.
Exactly.
It's okay.
I agree.
It's okay that Escape from Tarkov doesn't have female bad guys or female characters in it. And I think even some of I've seen this from some of like female streamers who are very, very strong in the like feminist sides of things and this and that. They're like, this is just silly. It isn't that important.
Yeah,
it's not a big deal. It's not anything that's worth like canceling the game over or like you can still have fun.
Yeah, and if you take things too far, the other thing too is if you take things too far, then you start actually hurting the movement. And that's another thing that I've noticed. It's like pick your battles is the one thing I've always learned throughout my entire life. One thing that I've noticed a lot watching TV, like the Orville and other shows that are coming out, I'm seeing a lot more representation of like gay and trans stuff in media.
Oh yeah,
but the way that they do it, it makes perfect sense in the role. They're not just jamming something in there to jam something in there. It's basically created around it. And when you start taking stuff that's not created around that and you start trying to stuff that stuff into it, then at that point, it's like you're overreaching. And then it starts to seem like you're intentionally going out of your way to do it. And then it just starts fires between everybody. But I think we've come a long ways, honestly. Like even just watching a new show I was watching on HBO. I just finished it. There's only 6 episodes. It is a really weird show. It's and I just lost the name of it in my head. Damn it. It's got Hugh Laurie in it. It's got like an all-star cast, and they basically are on the spaceship going out into space. I guarantee you've never heard of it. Can somebody give me the name? It's Hugh Laurie is basically a fake captain of a Starline cruiser. And I just finished the 6th episode last night, and for some reason, Avenue 5. So if you guys have HBO, check out a series called Avenue 5. The first episode's completely cringeworthy. Hang with it. It's really bizarre. But in episode 6, they do something really weird to kill it off. I just don't think it was doing well. But one of the cool things about it is in the future, like everybody's like a couple of 3 people. Like everybody's polyamorous, like in the future. And so like Hugh Laurie like has a girlfriend, a boyfriend, and the dude's like trying to hook up with girls, but then he can't hook up with the girls. So the guy's like, hey, you want to hook up with me? He's like, oh, hole's a hole or whatever. And the way that they play it through the thing, it's hilarious. And it's very, very well done. And what it does is it immediately makes it seem like it's not a big deal. And that's what they got to do. They don't make it a big deal. Make it like super underplayed and be like, this is normal. This doesn't make you Superman. This just makes you absolutely normal to just be a human. And I love the way they do it. They achieve that like brilliantly.
That's.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I just think that's the important thing is like, it's like, I don't know. I do think it's important to continue to talk about it, to continue to like push for like normalizing it, because it is like it doesn't really matter. Like in what way does it ever affect anybody's life? Like it doesn't. I don't care if same-sex marriages occur. It literally has no effect on my life whatsoever. And you'll have these people. We're getting off topic, but it just let people live their lives. You guys,
Sorry, living your life is a form of technology, so we're good.
If you're not, as long as you're not shitting in somebody else's sandbox, just let it go.
Yeah.
Stop. Ugh.
Unless they want you to. And if they want you to shit in their sandbox, absolutely do it. Like, I don't care. Scooby Wences said graphene batteries are already commercial. You can buy one right now. They're going to enter phones soon, and one day all electric cars charging will be quick. Cool. I've heard of graphene batteries, but I thought that there was like some really dangerous like reasons why it wasn't in production yet. Maybe they sorted that out.
Huh.
So that would be interesting. I know that graphene is still incredibly expensive, though, to produce at volume. Because I think graphene is like isn't that the material they use for like carbon nanotubes? I thought graphene was like the first stage of that or something. Like some dude's famous for figuring out, like they spent billions and billions of dollars trying to figure out how to manufacture graphene, and they figured out all you have to do is take a chunk of graphite and put double stick tape on it and peel it up.
Remember,
and you get a layer of graphene. Oh, best thing ever.
I remember that. That was great.
Yeah, so if you guys ever see graphene, like, and they do use it in technology and stuff, even you probably have something in your house that has some kind of graphene in it. But the funny thing about graphene is they legitimately tried all these ways, like vacuum chambers and trying to like aerosol it in to get, because basically it's the alignment of the carbon, right? Or that makes like the graphene, the way it lays down. And some dude figured out if you just take a solid block of graphene and you just put Scotch tape on it and you peel up the Scotch tape, you literally get one plane of like graphene perfectly laid out. And you just do that over and over and over again in each layer of graphene and then build it up, and you basically get like super strong, lightweight materials. And I think is it a superconductor? Is graphene a superconductor? I don't know if it is or not.
I have no clue.
David said video is glitching too much. I can't rerun afterwards. Is anybody else seeing lots of glitches? Because it looks okay on my side.
Someone had mentioned earlier that YouTube might be having some problems.
It's possible. Everything looks good on my side though. Like here, let me check the dashboard and look.
It's been great. So for the last few minutes.
Yeah, stream health is 100% healthy. No reported issues. No bitrate drops. Nothing. No, we're absolutely golden over here. But that doesn't mean, like I said, that there can't be problems between us and you guys. Cyberpunk
down to Texas's possible problems.
So Cyberpunk Computing said, John B. Goodenough, who developed the lithium battery, is developing a new solid-state battery. Should be safer and have double the capacity of lithium. See, the thing is, everybody says that it's going to be double, it's going to be safer, it's going to be this. It's going to revolutionize everything, but until it actually happens, it's like it's vaporware.
I don't like reverse.
It's like the dude that invented some lithium battery that you can literally cut with scissors and it will not catch on fire, and you can puncture it, it doesn't catch on fire, and it has like the same capacity. But then they like looked into it and they're like, "Oh yeah, but it doesn't work as good as like current technology." So you'd be operating at a deficit to get all those safety features, and then at that point we're just barely to where people want to transition, so going backwards wouldn't do you any good. So it takes time for technology to like really mature and start showing up and stuff. But I'm sure they've got like those sodium. What is that sodium? Have you seen those liquid batteries? What are they called? Flow batteries. So apparently they're like really big with like wind farms and stuff like that. And the way that they work is they basically pump electrolyte, like physically pump electrolyte between two tanks to generate the electricity. So instead of having a battery where the electrolyte's just sitting in there with the plates, the cathodes and the anodes, they just keep flushing more and more electrolyte through it. And so they keep, basically it just keeps the battery like topped off so that you can pull, the maximum amount of energy off it. And then all you have to do is scale the size of the tanks. Like if you want a bigger battery, you just put more electrolyte in bigger tanks and suddenly your battery is just bigger. And the electrolyte is like super, super cheap. I mean, their capacity is nowhere near what lithium is for the same weight. But for stuff where you're not moving around, where you can just like set it down and forget it, weight isn't an issue. So you go for the capacity and how cheap it is, right? So
that's cool.
Yeah, so flow batteries are cool. We'll never see them in a car though. A flow battery in a car would be like the dumbest idea ever.
No, but it could be good for like a big problem with like the electrical grid right now is storage of excess energy. And so that could, I mean, if you've got big tanks of liquid goo that can hold a bunch of electricity, that's great.
Yeah. I wonder if they could figure out a way like to create an electrolyte that is not well. Actually, there's a lot of ways to create an electrolyte that's not harmful to the environment. It's called our ocean. But if they could get it to work really good with just basic salt water, you could technically just blow the salt water out as you're flushing the tank, right? So as a car, just like you'd fill it up with gasoline, you fill it up with the salt water. You start driving, and then as the electrolyte's getting depleted, just dump it out the other side. Just dump it out in the air. Yeah. Your car's basically just pissing salt water out the whole time you're driving down the road. That might actually be a good idea. I don't know. Can I patent that? Hey, John, thank you for the $5 tip. He said, I feel like HR departments at all companies are 90% female. Are companies choosing HR employees that exhibit maternal instincts? That's an interesting question.
That's bogus. I mean, just to point out the initial logical fallacy there is like 1 point of anecdotal evidence. It's hard to comment on that. I feel like that's probably not true.
Well, I know when I worked at Microsoft, I can personally say that the majority of HR was female. Like I've been to the HR building enough to know that. But I don't think it's because of their maternal instincts. I think it's just at the time, the generation leading up to this, there was a lot more women that were in business school and stuff for HR and administration than there were men. So it just happened to work out that way. And I think in the next generation, that's going to completely change. It takes a generation of change for things to, there's a big runway in front of everything that happens. Just like we're just now seeing the effects of something that happened a month ago. We're still seeing the effects of like people that were raised this generation. And then we're like, even though, we've changed everything. We've changed the way we look at certain things. We have a new generation of kids now that are being raised up differently just from a media standpoint and interactions with our environment and other people. Once they become adults, that's when we're going to see the change that's instrumented from them being raised in this time. So it's like everything takes time for us to see the end result. So I'd be willing to wager a bet that within the next 10 or 20 years, you're going to see a huge shift in things like HR and female predominantly occupied spaces. Like, for instance, what am I thinking of? Airline attendants. How many airplanes have you been on where you've seen just as many guys as you have girls?
Plenty.
Lots. Tons now. That wasn't the case even like 10 or 15 years ago. 10 or 15 years ago, that was like predominantly dominated by women because women are generally smaller, they are lighter, they can move. There's a whole bunch of ways that you can spin that made that industry interesting to them, but it's not interesting anymore because technology has gotten better, airplanes have gotten better, we're more open about things.
And I think it's a social thing too, like nursing.
Yeah. No, that makes sense too because like just from a fundamental standpoint, and I guess this would kind of like feed into him saying the maternal instincts thing. Like when I'm in the hospital, I don't know what it is, but even when I'm sick or something like that, I think there is some kind of a connection there. Like if like a female nurse comes in and talks to me, for some reason I feel like more open to talk to her. I feel more open about her putting in an IV than a dude, but I don't know why. Like, it's not that I don't want, I think it's just because in my brain, I somehow have this fixed stereotype that they're going to be better at their job doing it.
Because it's your mother.
It's my mother.
It is a latent, the subconscious connection to your mother, or whatever. I mean, there might be actually something to that, but I've always had female doctors, like all growing up and stuff, and so like, it's never been an issue.
Yep.
My mom one time like got really weird, and I had to go in for a physical for wrestling, and she's like, "Oh, I brought in this other." Like this random dude doctor that I'd never met for my physical, and I'm like this woman has been my doctor forever, and like now you're gonna bring in this random guy to like give me the old turn and cough, like really? Like, because I think it's because she kind of got into her head that, oh man, I'm gonna I might be uncomfortable having this woman like go over me, and it was really more weird to have this unknown doctor do it instead. But that was a decade and a half ago or something.
You know what's weird about me is the first time I ever got my first physical that I ever got was from a female doctor, and after that every single physical I ever got has been from a male doctor. And the reason being is when the female doctor was doing it, there was no way for me to mentally disconnect like what was happening.
Oh, sure.
Like I just couldn't, because I was really young at the time too and everything. But it was like I could not make that mental disconnect. I'm like, please don't get a boner. Please don't get a boner. Please don't get a boner. You're just. But then like my regular practitioner that I've had for like 11 years, he can sit there and just talk about his weekend and what he was doing while he's like fiddling around my bits, and I don't have to worry about none of that. And for some reason, it made it like easier for me to go through, but other people are the opposite, right? Other people are the opposite.
Yeah.
I feel more comfortable, and if when I'm getting a physical or medical stuff, I feel more comfortable with a male handle in my junk than I do with a female. And it's weird because it's like that doesn't seem like that should be the way it is, but in that context, it actually, for me, it just works out better. So there, now you guys know something about me. I like males handling my junk.
how about that cybersecurity, huh?
Yeah, we should probably talk about that after I go take a piss. So you're gonna have to entertain these people while I go empty this 40-year-old bladder of mine. All right, I'll be right back, guys.
Okay. Oh, I think he muted himself. I don't know. Let's see. George DeLuca III says, How do both of you feel that the continued lack of tech production will affect the prices of new tech in length of time, 3, 6, 12 months? I don't know that it would affect the prices so much as availability. You might see some like inflation of prices at like the retail level, just, but there are like price gouging laws and stuff in place. So I don't know how much of that you'll actually see. I think what you're going to end up seeing is just lack of product. I don't know that the prices necessarily will go up or down. Price will go up, supply and demand, sort of, but you have protections like that's. You don't generally feel that on a retail level. Like if there's only 6 onions in the Fred Meyer, the price doesn't suddenly go up for those onions. It has to be huge market wide supply and demand. And so if production stays bad for a year, sure, you might see prices go up, but in the short to medium term, I wouldn't think so, because you have to think production already started and is being completed for things that we aren't going to actually receive for another few months. So like the price adjustment for the supply and demand is going to be delayed by months or years.
Oh, so you're talking about like not seeing stuff happen like immediately versus delayed when something tragic happens or changes.
Yeah. The question was, how do you feel that the continued lack of tech production will affect the prices of new tech in length of time, 3, 6, 12 months? And I'm like, I think what's going to happen in the short term is just lack of product. Like you'll order something and it's going to take 6 months for it to ship, or shelves will be, the product will just be unavailable. But I don't think that the prices of those products is really going to be affected unless this problem lasts for more than a year, which I really don't think it will.
Yeah, I'd like to think that a lot of companies on most products, unless it's a perishable item or something where it changes, I'd like to think that they have quite a bit of backlog and a lot of back inventory to kind of float them through crises. Otherwise, they'd be screwed, right? I mean, because things fluctuate all the time. But with a fluctuation like this, there is one exception to that rule that you're talking about, and that is if they know there's going to be a supply problem in the future, like they are reasonably confident of it, they will try, and the demand is still there, they will try to squeeze more money out of what they've got, the inventory that they got.
Sure.
So, but that depends on us. Like, we have to buy into it still.
I mentioned too, like you'll probably see it at a retail level, just retailers trying to squeeze as much as they can out of each product that they have on the shelf. But I also know that like there are price gouging and market regulations for that sort of thing to keep those somewhat in check. You're not suddenly going to be spending $5,000 on an iPhone, because you can't manufacture them.
Yeah. Plus, nobody would pay it, right? In that situation, it's like
yes, they would.
You think
yes, they would.
You think somebody pays $5,000 for a hell phone?
Totally buy $5,000 for a fucking iPhone. Are you kidding? If there were only 100,000 iPhone 12s made and they were going for $5,000 a piece, damn right they would be sold out within an hour.
The funny thing is right after I said that and you started to mention, the first thing I thought of was the PlayStation 4 when it came out. Do you remember when the PlayStation 4 came out and it was like every single person bought it and put it on eBay, and there was completed auctions for like $3,000 for a PlayStation 4 bundle. And so I've seen that happen now with the original Xbox, the Xbox 360, the Xbox One. I saw it happen with the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4. I don't know if it happened with the PlayStation 2, but it probably did. But PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, those stand out really big. Oh, and the Wii U. I remember the Wii U selling for like $1,500, $1,800 on eBay all day long, and every auction was completed. So that's what happens when people take the supply, right? If the demand is there and and you know that people will buy it, and you have an opportunity to buy up as many of them as you can, and you know that the supply is going to be less than the demand, boom, that's how you make money, right? It sucks, kind of makes you an asshole, but you know, it also makes you a capitalist. So it's a job. It's like, I'm not going to be too mad at you because you found a loophole in the system to go buy everything and try to sell it back to me at an absorbent rate. I'm just not going to participate. I'm going to be like, okay, fine. I'm not going to do it. And then the company that you bought all those consoles from, hopefully they learn from that in the future, and they make production so far beyond demand at launch time that everybody that goes and does that basically is forced to just return everything. Which I did. Didn't that happen with like the Switch? I don't know if it was the Switch or not, but I know that there was one that people tried that same routine on that didn't go over because there wasn't enough people buying the console. It was something, I don't think it was Nintendo actually, but I know that like a bunch of people just canceled their orders. Like they did a bunch of pre-orders and put down money, and then they just canceled all their pre-orders like everywhere because they're like, okay, people obviously aren't going to pay a huge overage, and I could lose a lot of money on this.
All right, so cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity. All right, there we go. It's time to get to our first topic. Are you afraid of being hacked? Are you afraid of having your email taken over?
No.
Are you afraid of losing your Facebook and Twitter?
No. Twitter more than Facebook.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. And that is, if you lose your email account, you lose everything. Everything. Yep. So I've been seeing a lot of tweets, actually, from people that have been telling me about their own situation or that of other YouTubers that have lost their YouTube channels. They've lost their Twitters. They've lost their Facebook. This seems to be like a reoccurrence of the days of old of everybody getting hacked and taken over. And there's been a couple different techniques used to carry out these hacks that are all 100% circumventable. And I wanted to talk about a couple of those today. So first of all, if you do not have two-factor authentication, or first of all, if you don't know what two-factor authentication is, okay, let me explain it to you really quick. It means that basically you are required to get a code that is only valid for a very small period of time on your cellular device, either through a program, through encryption, or through SMS, which some will argue is unsecure, but a lot of providers actually have a lot of security on SMS now. You just have to figure out if your cell provider, like, transmits your SMS over the web. Tell them no, don't do that. But anyways, two-factor authentication is where you basically, in addition to your password, you have to provide a code that expires within like a minute, usually, or less, to log into your account. That way, if somebody even has your password, if somebody knows exactly what your password is, and they try to log into that service, they have no way to get beyond that. So you'll basically just get a bunch of notifications, which I actually do, because people, databases have leaked passwords before. And whenever a password leak occurs, I'll see one or two services popping up and saying, oh, somebody's logged in. Here's your authentication code. Here's your authentication code. And I'm like, well, I didn't try to log in, so I know that didn't come from me. So, and I've got nowhere to type it in. So, and so far that's kept them completely at bay. And I have people trying to hack me like every single day. So your email account should absolutely have two-factor authentication enabled on it. If it doesn't, you should probably make that a priority, because the second they get your email account, they get everything. Let me explain. Everything that you create, every account you create, your Twitter, your Facebook, all that stuff, unless you're smart and have separate emails for each and every one of those, and you authenticate, which you can totally do, some people do, chances are, for convenience, you want them all to go back to your regular email. And so Steam's connected to it, Origin's connected to it. You don't realize just how much of a connection you have from everything to that email address. But you don't really think of it as a security breach, because you're like, okay, it's just an email. What can they do? They can send me an email there. Well, here's the problem. If somebody can break your account, they can send password resets to every single one of those services, because they can say, I forgot my username. Then it'll send them an email, tell you what the username is. Then they put that in, then they click, I forgot my password. And then they go back and look at the email, and it says, here's your new temporary password. Then they enter that temporary password, and they log into the service, and they change your password and lock you out of it. And they can do that for every service. So your email should always have two-factor authentication. Absolutely no exceptions. I don't care if you're just a person that doesn't have any online presence and you think that you would never be targeted. Newsflash, everybody's targeted, because they try every single permutation of email address you can think of, trying to crack the passwords, because they don't care if you're famous or not. They just want an established email account that has contacts in it and has mails sent, because that ups their trustworthiness when they're sending their spams, and bots are using your account for nefarious things. People will even hack you and sell you to somebody else. They'll hack your account and be like, I don't know who this bozo is. I'm going to put him in a list and sell him to somebody else. Two-factor will shut down 99.9% of that. The only way around two-factor authentication is social engineering. So it doesn't make it impossible. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about losing my phone than my wallet, even.
Yeah, this is the key. This is the key. If this is like dropping the key to your house on the pavement when you have two-factor authentication enabled. But it will save you. Yep.
Everything in my wallet, everything in my all of my online accounts and stuff are, and even then, like my phone is locked up pretty well too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, everything revolves. My phone is way more important than my wallet
Yep.
or anything else. It's because I can replace everything as long as if I have my phone, I can fix any problem
Yep.
that can occur in my life. If I don't have my phone, I'm screwed.
And I've been in that situation where my phone died and I had to get another phone and I didn't have an up-to-date backup, so I had to go try to recover stuff that had two-factor authentication. Companies take it so seriously now because of the social engineering aspect that every one of those recoveries, I had to do 3 recoveries. One of them was Discord. You'd think the Discord would be really easy to social engineer because it's not that big of a service, at least at the time it wasn't. It's not really super duper like mainstream. Not everybody uses, more for gamers and stuff like that. But they literally made me stand up with a piece of paper with random gibberish handwritten onto it that they sent to me through my new phone number and my email address. And they said that I had to do it in front of my setup, that I could show my YouTube channel that was connected to my account to prove that I was in the same room with the assets with that message written on it, and I had to be the same person that was on that channel in the videos.
Wow.
It took me like 3 days to do this, and I couldn't have been happier because it meant that they get social engineered a lot, and they told me that in their email. They're like, a lot of people try to fool us into changing their passwords and trying to update their email addresses and stuff. So to combat that, they take it much more seriously, and other companies are starting to follow suit, especially cellular providers. So here's the next step that you want to take. Now that you have two-factor authentication on your email address, your weak link now has changed to your phone. Now, here's the problem. Somebody can technically social engineer and walk into a location or call a location and be like, hey, I lost my phone or my SIM card. Can you guys send me a new SIM card? And some of them can talk enough shit to get, trainee employee number 1 to give them another SIM card, usually in store. They won't even mail them anymore if they're lost for most people. The way that you get around this is you basically go to, it doesn't matter who your provider is. I've done it with all of them, AT&T, Sprint, and T-Mobile. You go in there and you tell them that you're at high risk, even if you're not. Just tell them that you're high risk for hacking. Tell them that you want to put a note on your account that says that you have to be present in a store with a valid driver's license for them to be able to do anything to your account or issue any SIM. This has saved me twice. 2 people in 2 different locations in the United States attempted to walk into a cellular store and pretend that they were me. Unfortunately, neither one of them could give a convincing identification, and the police were called. And they, of course, fled the scenes before the cops got there. But they did notify me. The company did notify me that they did make the attempt. And there was video of them in store. And one of them was stupid, didn't even wear a hat, so you could clearly see who it was. I didn't know them, but it's like if somebody went and looked them up, they'd recognize them, right? They couldn't give me any more information beyond that because the cases are private. Like for their own liability, they can't really like show me like the pictures of the people. They can just describe it to me. It was really weird. Like, because I wanted the pictures because I was going to post that stuff online and be like, hey, anybody recognize this person trying to impersonate me? So put that on your account. I also recommend putting that on all your services, your internet service, your power, all those. Tell them that you want a password applied to that account that you have to verbally give them over the phone to make any changes, and make sure that it is a very unique password that you don't use anywhere else and nobody else knows. Like even gibberish, like something completely gibberish, but something that you won't forget. And
I always like passphrases. Oftentimes it'll be a passphrase that involves whatever like company or service that I'm communicating with, but combined with like some other random words. That helps a lot. It's for the remembering thing, because like I have a PIN. Like you can't make any account changes unless you have this 6-digit number that I have to tell them. And I also have pins, like over the phone pins for other companies. And I'm like, wait, how many digits is it supposed to be? And even then they'll hesitate. They're oftentimes they'll be like, well, and I'm like, well, that's okay. I'll just rattle off a few and you tell me if it's right.
Yeah, they're not supposed to tell you, but some of them will. Let me give you an example of social engineering succeeding. Okay, so rewind this is probably about 4 or 5 years ago. Miss B, if you're in chat, please remind me when this was, because I have a horrible time with dates. So when my son was younger, we had a Chevy Volt, so it would have been sometime in the last 5 or 6 years. My son accidentally got locked in the car, and he didn't know how to unlock it. Basically, the keys were in the center console of the car, and when the door closed, it auto locked. I think my son pushed the button. We couldn't get the car unlocked, and it was in a parking lot. My wife was somewhere, so she calls me on the phone, and she's panicking, and she's like, the car locked, my keys are in it. Can you please call OnStar and get them to let me into the car? So I called up OnStar, and they're like, "What is your password for the account?" I have no idea. I've long for, it's been like I owned the car for like 3 years. I didn't know what the password was. I've never even called OnStar for anything. And so like, what's the password? So I rattle off a couple of passwords. They don't know what it is. So then what I do is I add my wife to the call. And my son's inside the car making noise, and my wife is like, oh my God, he's stuck in the car. We have to get in there. Hi, I'm the wife. Blah blah blah. Please, can you help my son? He's stuck in the car. We have to get him out of here. And the lady on the phone starts panicking, and she's like, okay, I've issued the command to unlock your car. Is it unlocked? Click. And she's like, and I said, thank you so much. Thank you so much. She's like, okay, you guys have a great day. Is your son okay? Do you need emergency service? No, we're good. We're good. Okay, thank you for calling OnStar. You have a nice day. She unlocked the car. All I had to do was just convince her for 5 minutes with having a woman talk in the background and hearing a kid burbling in a car. And that was enough to convince her to just ignore the entire password system and just let us into a vehicle.
Yikes.
So I could have robbed that vehicle by just walking around a parking lot and calling OnStar and being like, oh my God, I can't get into my Chevy Volt that's sitting right here. It's, you need the VIN number? Here, just look down through the window. Okay, rattle off the VIN number. Okay, that's my car. Yeah, no, oh God, I don't know what to do. Okay, here, play some baby noises on a soundboard. Oh, my kid's stuck inside. Please unlock it. Please unlock it. Once you convince them to unlock it, boom, door opens. You get in there, you rob everything out of it. You close it. You didn't even have to Slim Jim it. You didn't have to damage anything. It's absolutely terrible, but companies like that learn over time. I bet you couldn't pull that same shit with OnStar today, because I'm sure it's happened so many times that they have a note on their account that says that no, you have to strictly request the password to be able to move forward and make any kind of progress. But just realize that social engineering is the one thing you can't really fix. So you want to make sure that your entire security revolves around the social engineering not having being lessened anyways. You can't eliminate it 100%. You could always find that one idiot employee that skips steps. And if they do that, there's really nothing you can do about it. But that's why I think that every single account that you create should have a different password, and you shouldn't use your public email address that people know for any of them. What are you looking at?
I tried to type a web address into chat and it denied me. Am I not mod anymore?
Did I not mod you? Dude, you're totally not a mod. How did that happen?
Probably Front Page Tech unmodded me.
Oh, he got Front Page Tech probably unmodded. I bet you he did.
I bet.
That prick totally did, because there's no way you weren't a mod in here before. Hey, if it makes you feel any better, he said he unfollowed me on Twitter and followed you instead earlier. I don't know how much truth there is to that, but it's possible.
Well, he did follow me.
He did? Hey, Nick said, thank you for the $5 super chat. He said, speaking of cybersecurity, the DoD released a guide for securing yourself online called Identity Awareness Protection and Management Guide. You guys should totally check that out. Let me explain just a little bit more about this, and then we'll see how secure AuxxZillary is by going and trying to hack all of his accounts. I'm just kidding.
No, don't do that.
He's like already writing the shit down like on a notebook, like right after the stream, like gotta go fix this. So
yeah, man.
So this becomes your weak link, right? When you have two-factor authentication. So the way that you secure that is don't use a really easy method to log into your phone. Like as much as you want to, like facial recognition is pretty easy to fool. Actually, it's gotten a lot better, but you can still like put it up to somebody who's like knocked out in the corner of a room drunk. When your friend wants to like grab your phone and go through your dick pics or whatever, they can put that up to your face. Try to use like a good 6-digit number to get into your phone. Something that's going to take them a really long time, and make sure that your phone, after so many attempts, locks you out for like 30 seconds so that you can't keep doing it. That's going to help that if you lose your phone and somebody tries to crack into it to get access to those SMS messages, they're going to be unsuccessful. Or at least they're not going to be as successful. If you ever lose your phone, like seriously, just like your wallet, the first thing you need to do is call your cell company and tell them to invalidate that phone immediately. Because if somebody can pull your SIM and put it into another phone, they can intercept your SMS messages. So you don't need the password anymore. I can literally pull the SIM out of this phone, stick it into my phone, boot it up and log in, and all of a sudden I start receiving SMS messages when I'm resetting passwords and stuff. You cannot, the phone isn't as important as the SIM that's inside it. So if your phone gets stolen, you report that SIM stolen immediately so they can invalidate it to make sure that no SMS messages get sent to it. Because that's the first thing people are going to do when they steal your phone, is they're going to try to sell the phone, and then they're going to pull the SMS and they're going to sell the SMS to somebody. But that process is going to take a little bit of time. And as long as you notice it missing immediately, they're not going to be able to mobilize and do anything destructive for a little while, unless they're like planning on just snatch and grab, run around the corner and start doing it as fast as they can. You're going to beat them to invalidate the SIM. But as long as you take those steps, it will protect you from so much grief. And trust me, I'm a person that's had to deal with all this crap at some point. That's why I know so much about it. What's up?
Oh, it looks like Mrs. B is no longer a mod now too. Is there some sort of cap? Can you only have so many mods?
No.
I wouldn't think so.
Did one of the moderators just unmod everybody?
Well, it would be weird that it would be weird that
I'll have to go back and look at
know.
I'll have to go back and look at the history and see what's going on. That's odd.
Yeah, I don't think a mod can unmod somebody else. It's generally it's your account.
You know, yeah. I bet you we're probably just getting my Twitch confused. Like everybody I modded on Twitch, I just haven't modded yet on this stream because it's only the fourth one we've done. So it's possible that I just haven't modded these people yet.
Yeah, maybe we got hacked. Because I know I was mod because I for some of your streams in the past I was in chat and stuff. So that's weird.
Well, let me check my moderator list. That'd be funny. I'm like literally getting hacked like while we're streaming. Wouldn't be the first time that happened either. Damn social engineers, so crafty. Let me see. Where's my moderators? Well, I know YouTube has been having a lot of problems lately though, and I know one of the problems they were having was with chat recently. Let me see my moderators list. No, even Hops is still in there. Kevlar Condom's still in there. So I guess I just didn't have that many mods on here. Maybe at one point. Oh, I bet you at one point I probably just removed everybody and started adding them back. Yeah, everything looks good here. I don't see any unauthorized login attempts. I also have it notify me if any login attempt happens outside of my IP range. So I'll get a little email that says, "Oh, attempted login from here, attempted login." I don't see any of that.
I had to do that, man. My email years ago, my email was hacked, and it was used to send out like within minutes, like 10,000 phishing emails for World of Warcraft accounts had been sent from my account. Oh. And this was many years ago when I was still very, lazy about this sort of thing. And I remember looking into the Google lets you see where logins have happened to your account. And it had come out of China, some tiny little province up in the mesas of China. And I was like, this is insane. And so now I have that set up as well. Two-factor, so it dings my phone if an unknown device tries to log into my account. And also if anything outside of like my normal travel area tries to log into my account, I get a ding for that too. It was really...
I've had my email account hacked probably 3 times before I finally was like, okay, I need to do better. I need to do better. And I had to start learning how to circumvent all these techniques. Like always use a different password on every single site. If you use a password manager, make sure it's one that doesn't store your unencrypted password anywhere, just the hash so that you can, so and there are good password managers out there, and it's better to use a password manager than to not use one, honestly, because even if they hack the password manager and get into it, you have 2-factor authentication on it. So one, they usually can't get in there. Even if they did get in there and they had all the passwords, they'd physically just be able to do the same thing as if they hacked your email address. And it gives you the diversity of passwords that it greatly reduces the attack surface of each individual surface that people are trying to just brute force their way into. Somebody actually mentioned the site Have I Been Pwned? I actually use that site. And it's a site that you sign up for that they send you an email anytime somewhere in the news or they've detected somewhere online that data from a well-known service has been leaked. And this literally pings me about like once a week or every 2 weeks saying that some service had my name or my email address or something mentioned in the database that was hacked and leaked to the internet. It's actually really, really helpful, especially if it brings up a service that is something that you're still currently using and you don't have 2-factor authentication for because they literally don't support it. Some services don't have it yet.
Whoa.
Yeah, I try to avoid any service that doesn't, but there's some services that literally just do not have it. But just protect yourself. Protect your email. That's your first line of defense. Second line of defense, make sure that you have physical passwords on everything, even like your utilities and stuff, right? Cable modem, all that stuff. Call up all those services and say, I want a password on the account. It's very helpful. It'll help circumvent social engineering. And then the other thing, too, is if you're a streamer like me and you want to prevent stuff like swatting and things like that, contact your local police department and fill out the paperwork for a high-risk celebrity. Just ask them they'll know what you're talking about. And most of them know swatting now. Like mine didn't at the time that I did it, But now it's so well known that like all the police departments know it because they've all been involved in 1 or 2 cases. So you fill out paperwork and you sign it and you put 3 phone numbers on it and you give them a password. And anytime somebody calls 911 for any reason, doesn't matter if it's medical, doesn't matter if it's an emergency, doesn't matter if it's a threat, they ask for the password. And if the person doesn't give them the correct password, they basically record it as a false call and they hand it over to the police for investigation as a felony. And that's happened to me twice. And they just notified me about it. Now what they'll do is they'll call me and they'll call me, even if the password is correct, they'll still call me on my 3 phones and talk to me directly. So one of those 3 phone numbers, I pick up and I can talk to them. And even if they manage to get through with the password, they still won't pursue it. So the worst thing that can ever happen is that a plainclothes police officer will check in on me. He'll just come up to the door, like just knock on it and be like, hey, are you okay? Yeah, everything's cool here. All right, take it easy. Thank you. If they make it far enough, that's as far as they can get. And that's a hell of a lot better than a bunch of guys with their fingers on their trigger kicking in your door and trying to murder your family so that somebody can think that they're clever and they really got one over on you. So,
I just move every year or so, and it makes it way easier.
I mean, it's really sad that I had to do that, but I'm glad that I did because it was after somebody else I knew got swatted. And I'm glad I did it because it's protected me twice now, and there hasn't been another attempt after that. Unfortunately, I tried to get information from on pursuing those because they do actively pursue them and assign a case number, but they won't give me any information on it for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it's a minor, or they found out it's a minor or something, but they won't give me any information on the case because I wanted to share it publicly. I wanted to do a video on it and be like, oh, these are the 2 people that tried to, you know, not by name or anything, but I wanted to know enough about them that I could say these are the types of people that tried to do this and potentially hurt my family. And I have to be extra careful too because it's like I have a son on the autism spectrum, and if police come like blowing through the door with fingers on machine guns and my kid starts like screaming and running around and not listening to orders, you know, that's a bad situation. So I try to do whatever I can to protect my family, and you should do the same thing. And get on speaking terms with your local police department. That's one thing I really like. I went down to my police department. I shook every hand in the place. It's a small town. I understand if you can't do that like in Seattle or New York City or something like that. But in my town, you know, there's maybe 12 officers. I went in there, met them all. I know the chief of police by name. Everybody knows me. They know my car. They know my house. That's all really good stuff to have if you're an internet personality. Little guy, big guy, doesn't matter. Just make sure, because the police are the ones that respond to stuff like that. Every kind of complaint. Doesn't matter if it's swatting, anything like that. It's just good to be on those kind of terms with your local police department. It's very, very helpful. But as long as you take care of those things, those are like the top level security things that should be just like a given. If you're, whether you're online personality or not, really, like just the password and the 2-factor and all that stuff, it's going to save you. It is absolutely going to save you. And then the next step from that is individual services getting hacked, because of course with social engineering, somebody might convince somebody to let them into your Twitter, let them into your Facebook. That restricts them to that area, but they can still do a lot of damage before you get control of that account back. But the nice thing about you having your email is that if somebody takes over your Twitter, all you have to do is just request a password reset, right? And if they brute force their way into the Twitter, they don't get that password reset request. You do, because you still have control of your email address, which means you can go in and change that password on them and kick them out and start them over from scratch again. And so that's why you never want to lose your email. If you lose an individual service, it's a lot easier to get back if you still have the email that's associated with it. Let's see here. Jonathan Dolph, thank you for that $5 super chat. He said, Samsung has a security setting after 15 to 30 password tries. It wipes the phone. As a matter of fact, I think iPhone has this too. I don't know how many attempts it takes, but I got drunk one night and did it to my friend Greg. And I don't know how many attempts I did, but it did actually erase his entire phone, and he had to restore a backup the next day. He said, I'd rather have a wiped phone than people trying to log in. Yeah, here's the problem, though, is even if it wipes the phone, it doesn't wipe the SIM. So they could still take that SIM out and put it in another phone and intercept SMS messages. The SIM is what you want to protect. So if somebody steals your phone, don't be so worried about like reporting your phone stolen. Well, I mean, that's what you do, but the SIM, the SIM and the phone number, those are the things that you want immediately disabled. So you call up your cell provider from a pay phone. Don't wait. Don't be like, oh, maybe I'll use somebody's phone later and I'll call it in. The second you notice your phone is missing, and you looked for it and you can't find it, your very next step is to get a phone somewhere, borrow it from a friend, call and have that SIM disabled. Have it frozen. And make damn sure they have a password on it so that not everybody's like freezing up your SIM. Let's see. Toothless, thank you for the 100 rupees. He said, Elon Musk launch a worldwide satellite internet with 2,500 satellites. Hope it helps remote India areas. It absolutely will. As far as I know, it's going to like provide service to the entire world except for like Antarctica or something. There's one spot, I think maybe it's the South Pole. I think it's the South Pole that they're not going to have reception there. But everywhere else on the planet, they will.
Neat.
The only thing a lot of people are getting wrong about that is it's not like you're just going to be able to have your phone connect to the satellite, and you're not going to just have like a little antenna that just connects to the satellite. You're going to still be connected to an ISP through wires that then goes and connects up to the satellite network, or you're going to pay an absorbent amount of money if you're out in the middle of nowhere to have the same thing the ISP does, which is the beam steering antenna that goes on top of your house, which is, you know, kind of big and kind of heavy. So it's not something you could probably put it on an RV or a car, but you're not going to be like lugging it around with you up in the mountains while you're hiking. At least not in the beginning. Technology will get better. It'll shrink down just like GPS and everything else. But in the meantime, you're not going to just have your house directly linked up to this network unless you have one of those fancy antennas, which I'm sure is going to be very, very expensive. And you'll probably have to pay a lot more fees for. You'll be going through an ISP.
Yeah, right, so, like at first, sure.
Yeah. Let's see. I use my iPhone to find Barnacules Nerdgasm to lock the phone so it can't be unlocked. I use iPhone Find My...
Oh, yeah, the like Find My iPhone service.
Okay.
You can either shut off or wipe the thing remotely.
Yep, that's a good idea, but the thing people still forget is if you wipe that phone, you might be like, okay, now I can just go buy another phone and get it activated. But realize, even though you wipe that phone, that SIM in there is still linked to your phone number, and it still will receive SMS messages without a password. So
yeah, I think that's the part that people are missing is like it's not so much that the phone is like automatically logged into your accounts and they're going to get you that way. It's the fact that they can get the two-factor authentication code that's being sent via SMS, if that's the way you have it set up, to whatever phone they put the SIM into.
Yeah, like I could literally take my SIM out of one phone. I've done it before several times. Put it into another phone, and if I receive an SMS, I won't get like the resolution of the contact name and stuff, but it'll still be the number and it'll still be the message. So that's unfortunately tied to your phone number and to that specific SIM.
Yeah.
Somebody did correct me on something. They said that the phased array antenna is on the ground. The spot beam steering comes from the satellite itself. But still, the antenna that you need to connect to this network is still going to be thousands of dollars, and that's not including what you'd have to pay for the service to connect it to their satellite network. Because you're basically like jumping satellite. That's what makes this network so cool. Is like most satellite internet providers, like HughesNet, they put their satellites so far out into orbit that they can all clearly see each other while staying in the same spot in the sky. Well, Elon Musk took the different direction of just having all the satellites like little trains driving around, and they just toss packets to each other, like football players. So when you're on the ground, it's not like you watching satellite on a TV where the satellite's always in the same spot in the sky and you have to point it right at the satellite. What's happening instead is the satellites are steering the beam down as they're going over you so that they're all connected to you. And when one satellite leaves your spot, the next one comes into it. So you're basically just every couple of minutes or whatever, you're connecting to a new satellite and you're just jumping one satellite to another satellite to another satellite. And so in theory, if you had this on a moving vehicle, you would be able to uplink to the satellite network, and just like cell antennas, you'd be able to jump one satellite to another satellite and have uninterrupted internet service while you're driving around, just as long as you had a clear view of the sky, which I think is cool. I think that's really cool. Jonathan Dolph, thank you for the super chat, $5. He said, I already read that one. Samsung has the 15 to 30. What? I missed one. Oh, it's Joe Walker. Sorry, Joe Walker. Thank you for that $5 super chat. See, I was ahead of it. I have a window that's ahead of it. He said, speaking of miniaturization technology, did you hear about the new Wi-Fi antenna that's smaller than a grain of rice and takes almost no energy? I have not heard of this. Have you?
Nope.
I want to know about the grain of rice antenna. Let's see here. Let's see. Grain of rice antenna. HP unveils radio chip the size of a grain of rice. Holy cow. Wow, I haven't heard anything from HP in a while. That's kind of nice. All right, well, let's see. I'm kind of curious about this because I've heard nothing about this. All right, so HP unveils radio chip the size of a grain of rice. Researchers have created a miniaturized wireless data chip the size of a grain of rice. The tiny radio can be attached or embedded into any kind of object, linking it to its data and the internet. Dubbed Memory Spot, the experimental chip, about 2 millimeters by 4 millimeters, is the work of HP Labs. It's based on a CMOS chip technology widely used in a range of chip designs. The antenna is built into the chip. According to the HP statement, the data transfer rate is 10 megabytes per second, which is about 10 times faster than Bluetooth and comparable to IEEE 802.11b wireless LAN radio connect. So obviously not gigabit or anything. It's going to be like old school radio. Right. Working prototypes have been tested with a storage capacity of 256 kilobits to 4 megabits. That's enough to store a very short video clip, several images, or dozens of pages of text, according to HP, within the size of a grain of rice. The chip would be used in conjunction with a tiny read-write device. The both components incorporated in the cell phone, printer, digital camera, or other object. The read-write device would instantly transfer the data stored in memory to the display screen or some other output device. So basically it has its own video card too. Memory spot also draws its power from the read-write device through a technique called inductive coupling, which transfers energy from one circuit to another by means of shared electromagnetic field. So this is literally powered. It's not only is it small, it's powered by an electromagnetic field, like a smart card reader would use, or like a RFID. So you could literally put this into like a card, in the memory card, put it into your phone, and it could power it like without having to pull power from additional power from the phone. That's our camera. I think that's kind of cool. I mean, it looks like it's very prototypey right now.
Yeah.
Did you type sleepy guy?
I'm a sleepy guy.
Yeah, I'm sleepy guy too, man. I've been sick for days. I gotta like move around and wiggle a little and stuff, kind of wake me up. Plus, I've drank 2 Death Wish coffees. That definitely helps. Poor guy. I feel bad for you. I do feel bad for you. It's okay. You think you can hang in there for another 45 minutes, and we'll call it a ball?
Yeah, for sure. Of course.
Because we got some more topics. Let's nail them out. All right. So first, before we move to the next topic, does everybody feel like they are secure and they know how to protect their digital no spot after the stream?
One thing a lot of people were it was flooded in the chat for a little bit is pin on your SIM chip. So that when, like, basically every time you turn your phone on, it won't get cell reception until you punch in the pin. And yeah, we do have that here in the US. I remember that being a thing way back, even in the old Nokia 3310 days. Yes, that is a thing.
I didn't know that.
Heck, man, like back then you used to actually store your contact information on the SIM. I don't think anybody ever does that anymore. But yeah, you can set up pins. It is an option. I feel like that's not something anybody really does.
Somebody already
anymore.
said though, like that. Okay,
yeah.
So, but the
quite
thing is, in that, like, if I pull it out and put it in another phone, it'll ask me for that pin.
I think it's supposed to, yeah, and it should every time you turn the phone on. It needs to. The SIM needs to be open or like unlocked before you can get cell reception.
Yeah, here it is right here. So SIM pin, enable SIM pin.
I'm looking for it myself.
Yeah, I found it.
Because I'm on a Samsung. So I'm going to see what they got. Yeah, set up SIM card lock.
Yes, they could not lock SIM.
Let
me try it again. SIM pin. Oh, yeah, so enable SIM pin. Okay, enter pin to lock SIM 1. Okay.
Yeah, and so require your SIM card pin to unlock and use your SIM card.
Your SIM cannot be accessed. Please call your carrier and obtain your puck code. Fuck! I think I just fucked my phone.
Now you gotta social engineer your iPhone account.
I just lost my internet connection.
Good job.
Oh shit! Oh, that sucks. Well, after this, I'm gonna be calling old T-Mo's. That fucking sucks balls, dude. Oh, why'd it do that? It literally said that I could lock it. It said I could lock it, and then I entered the code to lock it once, and then it kicked me. I got kicked out of my phone.
I'm listening. I know.
Well, luckily I'm still connected through Wi-Fi though, so I can still like contact them online and everything.
So it's not as we just learned, it is not a fully it's not a full featured security solution, as Jerry is still connected to Wi-Fi.
Yep.
So
but this will probably like, here, try to send me an SMS message right now.
All right, let me see.
I want to see if, because I've disabled the pin.
Let me see here. Where is the Jerry Berg? Hello.
Hello.
It is sent.
Nothing. Nothing.
Wait, wait.
Well, you know my password. You want to go get it turned back on for me while I'm streaming? Like, call T-Mobile and tell them what happened?
No, because...
Hey, don't worry about it, Toothless. Since I have OCD and bipolar type 2 less severe for 7 years.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to drive there today. Can you see how late?
Hey, that's okay.
I'm gonna have to drive into town. 'Cause 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 I'm gonna have to drive into town. '
That's okay.
That's what I get, man. We try things. Hey, when you try things out, shit happens. That's how it happens.
Yeah.
But that's good. I mean, it locked me out of my phone, so rock on. I can't get SMS messages, so because I have it set up so that they can't come over Wi-Fi. So
There you
what
go.
I'm going to try though is before I fix that after the stream, I'm going to pull the SIM out and put it in my other phone and see if it's locked.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that it
good.
like actually locked down the SIM.
That'd be fun.
Hey, Toothless, thank you for the 200 rupees. Said I have OCD and bipolar type 2, less severe for several years.
Oh.
Can't stop donating once I started. Sorry for ruining the moment. How'd you ruin the moment? And
Whoa.
that's not good. Like, how do we ban you from if you can't control yourself? Is there a button?
Don't spam.
Yeah,
I love games. Don't do that shit.
Yeah, don't do that. Let's see.
Shame on you.
What the hell's going
You
on?
guys
Why
like
does I
lifted
love
cars,
games
trucks?
like spamming so hard?
That's what I'm saying.
Here,
Don't do that. Shame on you.
We'll put him in a timeout.
Do you guys like lifted cars and trucks?
Hell yeah.
Sometimes.
I like
Yeah.
lifted cars and trucks. I think it's awesome. Wait, that SIM is blocked without the puck code. The default pin is usually 1234000. Oh, we ain't got nothing to lose. Let's go toss in some puck codes and see if I can just tank this bitch.
Jerry's gonna completely like lock himself out.
Actually, it won't even let me do that now because I hit back when it gave me the option to enter a puck code. So
I think we have a new video content for you, Jerry. How am I gonna get my phone unlocked?
how late are they open today? Oh well. Well, it just means now we have a hard shutdown time at 3 p.m. because I gotta like catch them while they're still open, like get my shit fixed.
Jerry's gonna have to drive down to the T-Mo store.
No, I'll have to. I
New
literally will
phone.
have to drive to the T-Mo store today. Wasn't planning on that.
Great.
And now I'm gonna have to go spread my virus out there to everybody, and everybody's gonna die now.
That's great.
Oh my god, don't do that. The puck code is a longer code, pin is default. No, it already locked me out the second. It literally, when I typed it in, it said enter your code, but it didn't say enter your code to unlock or lock. It just said enter your code. So I entered a code, and then it's like re-enter your code, and I re-enter the code, and then it's like this did not lock your SIM, and then it's like enter puck code. And then I was like, fuck, get out, cancel. And it's like you are now locked out of your phone, or not out of your phone, but locked out of the SIM. So at least we know, hey, they're definitely securing it down. Like they're
a good example of social engineering because they all convinced you to fuck with your phone, and now you're locked out. I will have you know, I just went to see if there was an option for it. I didn't actually start turning it on and start punching in codes and stuff.
this is the learning process.
I don't trust chats. All of you chat guys are just trying to make trouble.
That is hilarious.
Agents of chaos.
You know the person that recommended that in chat was like, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Oh my god, walked right into it. See, guys, that was social engineering. He social engineered me into locking myself out of my own SIM. So at least now if my phone gets stolen, I don't have to worry about shit. So at least we got that. That's funny. I can't believe that happened. That is something that's like only being tired and high on cold medicine can achieve that. That's like literally the only way that happens. Let's see. Can you move your account to a digital SIM? If you're on CDMA, you can, but not on GSM. Or is it the other way around? One of those networks, it's digital, and the other network, it's on a SIM. I don't remember which.
Oh, like if you have Verizon, they don't actually have physical chips.
Right. It's just the phone.
Theirs are authenticated through their network or whatever.
I actually kind of like that. Well, I don't like it in the fact that you can't just swap phones whenever you want, which is something that I actually do sometimes with my Android phone. But I like the idea that it's bound to the phone, so that if you do get locked out of the phone, you're essentially locked out of the SIM. So that's God. I can't believe I fucking did that though. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. At no point did it tell me on the screen I was going to lock myself out. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I'm just. Some people are saying I have a SIM and I'm on Verizon. Verizon does have SIMs now. I have never been on Verizon's network, so I was unaware.
Maybe that networking type has been abolished. Like maybe
I
like
just remember, you'd be locked into their network. You couldn't take your phone anywhere after I were on their thing.
Didn't Sprint get bought by like T-Mobile or something like that? So they technically got moved to the new SIM network. And then
the feds approved the merger. I don't think it's like gone through yet.
Once it does, though, I think they're trying to phase out that other technology, though.
Oh.
Yeah, CDMA. It's okay. It went away. Okay, Verizon had CDMA, but not anymore. So I think everybody just went GSM because the networks were too different. Like I realized there was like it went way beyond just a SIM card. There was lots of other factors why you couldn't use the networks. And I think everybody wants to share their network so that everybody like increases their range, right? So Finn Anderson just gave us 50 knocks. He said, do they have a website where you log in, might be able to do your PIN and puck code there? Here's the rub, Finn. here's the rub. I can't log in because I have two-factor authentication. I'm locked out of my phone, so I can't get it. So, Finn, I literally can't recover my PIN because I can't log in because I locked myself out of the thing where you give. This is the same as losing your phone. I basically just simulated losing your phone. Right now, I do not have access to anything until I fix that because that is the portal. That is where everything comes. So, and unfortunately, because of my security, I will have to drive to the store and hope they're open today. And if they're not, then I'll just have to wait till tomorrow or Monday. And I mean, I still use the phone over Wi-Fi. My SMS right now is effectively not accessible. That's really the only thing I've lost. I can probably even still make phone calls over the network.
That's great.
That's just one of those moments. This is gonna somebody needs to clip that. That'll go down in history for sure. 0x Geek, thank you for the $5. He said hugs for you, Jerry, and the phone. That helps it sting a little less. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Oh my god, I'm dumb. My god, I'm dumb. Hey, Miss Barnacules, if you're listening, will you please at least call and see how late they're open today and which store is open? Because I gotta drive in there right after this. I'm gonna have to walk in there all sick now and give everybody my AIDS.
That's great.
Yeah. Colin Beck said, "Love you, but damn, you're dumb sometimes." I have my moments. I do have my moments. But it's entertaining, so it's all worth it in the end. But hey, I learned about a new feature, and now I can use that. I can use that, and I can pass it on. All right, so ironically, we're going to be moving into talking about intelligence. Artificial intelligence, that is. You like that segue?
That's great.
Oh, good. They're open until 8 p.m. Okay, so I can get this rectified today, no problem. I'm curious to see if they'll actually be able to unlock it or if they'll have to issue me another SIM. Because I wonder if it tanks the SIM because it won't even let me type in the puck code. So I think it might have just done the self-destruct on the SIM because it thought it was being hacked. Because it only had 2 attempts, 2 attempts and done. Yeah, that's crazy. That was funny though. I'll admit that was worth it just for the funny factor to have a video clip of me literally locking myself out of my SIM. But it is nice to know. You know what I'm going to do though is when I go into the store, I'm going to see if I actually can enable that feature, if that's possible, and then I'll put a real pin in there. Because I do like the idea of if you put the SIM in another phone, regardless of what it is, it asks you, before it can access it, it actually needs you to enter a pin. I think that that's something that everybody should do. I didn't even know that was something that was offered, honestly. How'd you manage to lock out your puck code? Dude, who the fuck knows how I locked out my puck code? Fucking puck
Straight
code.
likes to fiddle around with shit.
I just fiddling with shit. That's why you shouldn't do stuff live on camera for the first time you've ever done it, high on cough syrup. That's why you should not do that. Did you get a larger plastic card with your SIM card? Yeah, to adapt it to the larger slot. Yeah, I use it on one of my Android phones. I have to use that.
Where's that even? Because they were saying the puck code is on the either on the phone box or in the card and stuff. It's but where did you even put that?
I'm gonna take it one step further. I'm gonna power cycle the phone.
Here we go.
Here we go. Let's see if she even boots up. Let's see if it asks me for a code when I try to boot it up.
Here we go, boys.
Just powering down. I figure let's go for gravy. We already locked me out of my SIM card. Let's see if it just locks me out of the entire phone because we got a chance to do some research here. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. We're powering it up. Because I already fucked things up. Might as well just go for broke.
There you go.
I got an apple. I see a picture of an apple. We're good. Okay, come on, baby.
Fingers crossed. Give him your power.
Come on, baby. Come on. Watch it pop up and be enter pin code or something like that. Yep, SIM card locked.
No, wait. Can you punch in the code that you had punched in earlier?
Oh, it says your SIM card cannot be accessed. Please call your carrier to obtain your puck code. You have 10 attempts remaining.
Oh, shoot.
It won't even let me log in.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, my God. Yeah, only have 10 attempts. Yeah, I'll be entering that one real easy. Wait, puck code is located on the card where SIM was ripped off from? Oh shit, I don't have that piece anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Like,
fuck, and they're probably not going to have it either because I doubt the carrier records it. It's probably on that plastic card. It's printed on the bigger plastic card which you've pressed the nanos. Fuck, I don't have that anymore. Hey, Miss Barnacules, if you're listening, can you please go search in the bedroom and see if you can find... I think I threw it away, actually. I think I threw that thing away because I didn't think it was worth anything. They're going to have to give me a new SIM. Son of a bitch. You know the little card that they popped the SIM card out of?
It should be with your phone box. Do you know where that's at?
They're all over the house. Actually, I think most of them are out in the crawl space. Oh, they're right there, right next to your foot. Let's see, that's iPhone 6. That's iPhone. Is that it? Okay. Yeah, that should be it.
I'm gonna take your phone so you stop trying to log in.
So I stopped trying to fuck it up.
And then also where you don't have a driver's license.
I don't.
So make sure you.
Yeah. Well, even when you whisper, just so you know, everybody can hear.
Oh.
So I just so you know. But don't worry, I have to do it. I have no choice now. I put myself into this situation, and of course, it is not in the box. So
I don't know where you would have put that.
I'll just go ahead and get it.
Unless it's in the old box.
No, I'll call them first and see. But they're not gonna be able to do anything. I'll have to go to the store. Yeah, that'd be fine. All right, hon, I gotta focus and finish this up so I can get the hell out of here and fix this.
Okay.
So thank you so much. They should have recorded the code. Well, honey, I mean, you can give it a try.
we'll get it fixed one way or
What do
another.
you want me to do?
Call them up and see if they'll give you the puck code because your phone is on my account.
Okay.
So, and you have the password. So just go give it a try. Let's see. We're gonna have my wife's social engineer and see.
There
if
you
she can
go.
get in there. I need that fucking puck code. This is weird though. I've never. So you don't need any code to boot the phone. Yet if you enter the wrong code, even though there's no code on the SIM, it then locks it, and then you reboot, and then you need the puck code. That is a bizarre order of operations. That is a really bizarre order of operations. Let's see here. James Janus said, stance on how Nintendo refuses to do price drops when Sony and Microsoft do. Kind of hard to justify paying full price for games that came out several years ago. Nintendo knows that you'll pay for it. That's the thing with Nintendo.
Or enough people, at least.
Yeah, that Nintendo holds firm because they know they can get away with it.
Buy used. Seriously, go to.
Yep.
There are plenty of. I mean, there's like, especially for like older stuff. Like if I wanted to get like a 3DS, which I know is still not super old, but there's like a spot up in Seattle called Pink Gorilla that does a lot of retro Nintendo stuff.
Yeah.
And heck, pawn shops and stuff. You don't have to buy new. The cartridges and shit last forever, so like it's not like a disc, like the way Xbox and stuff where it'll get scratched up and whatnot.
That's true. That's another thing that I don't like. That's a whole nother thing we should talk about on the show is like the whole digital transfer of software, making it there's no secondhand market for anything, and like nothing you buy has any value to you anymore. I think that sucks. But let's talk about artificial intelligence, damn it.
Yeah, artificial intelligence.
Yeah,
Machine learning.
Let's get off this phone shit because my OCD is like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, God damn it, I can't believe I did that. It's going to drive me nuck and futz through the rest of the show now. You guys know it too.
Oh, neat. I like the Pink Gorilla. It's a cool spot up there in Seattle.
Oh yeah, Kelsey owns, or not Kelsey. Shit. Come on, name. It's one of their friends owns Pink Gorilla. Shoot, I forgot her name. What's her name?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you knew her name.
No. I just like the.
Not Kinsey.
I like the shop.
Is it Kinsey? I don't think Kinsey owns Pink Gorilla. It's the other gal. Oh, what's her name? Man, my brain is not working. Kelsey Grammer? No, it's not. God damn it! It's not Kelsey Grammer. All right. So how about you? Since I already fucked up the first topic, how about you lead us into the topic of artificial intelligence and machine learning, my friend?
Oh,
what is
sure.
a Kelsey? So there's two Kelseys in the Metal Jesus crew. I didn't realize that.
Huh.
I'll be damned.
Pink Gorilla recently got broken into. It sounds familiar.
That I didn't know, but it doesn't surprise me.
I want to say it wasn't like in the last couple of weeks or anything. It was. It was just a few. It was like 2 weeks ago. Holy shit! It was on the 17th. It looks like. Oh damn.
Trent said, "Can I be mod? It would make me feel better. I got 28 staples in my head yesterday. Unfortunately, we don't give mods for medical injuries, but I hope you feel better, Trent, because that sucks. 28 staples. That's a lot of damn staples, dude. Glad you're alive though. Like holy shit, that's like 28 staples. That's a lot of staples. So, are you reading about Pink Gorilla getting broken into, or?
Yeah, it's like they just smashed the window and made off with a few consoles.
Wow.
Damn.
When did that happen? What was the date?
The 17th.
Wow, so just like a couple days ago?
That's when the article. Yeah, that's when the article was up. So it was Monday the 17th.
Wow.
Damn. That's, man, fuck you, your district.
Man. And if I remember right, their store has like, you know, barred up door and all kinds of shit. Like it's wow. So somebody like put in some effort to break into there. And then they just grabbed a couple things and left.
Yeah, like it said they're claiming $1,000 in inventory and $3,000 in damage. Because of course the window and the display is going to be. Wow,
that's weird. That almost seems targeted because that store's inventory is everywhere. Like if you were going to break into that place, you could probably steal $50,000 in 5 minutes. So that sounds like that was almost like a targeted deal. Like they were looking for something.
Yeah, they have some of their stuff is like almost collectible style. Like it's old stuff.
As a matter of fact, I'm not positive, but I thought I saw a video where they have what is it called, the Olympic Games or whatever. That it's like the NES cartridge that's worth like $8,000 or something.
No shit.
Yeah, wow. I thought they had a copy of that there that they had bought off somebody like a while back. I was watching some of the Metal Jesus videos, and she showed one on the clip, and I was like, damn, that's like an $8,000 cart or something like that. That's probably kept, I'm sure, in a safe that's like a lot harder to get into. They probably, you know what it probably was? It was either a targeted thing, they were going after specific things, or they literally were just a bunch of methed up people that didn't know even what the value of anything was, and they literally just, right as soon as they broke in, they started panicking and freaking out and getting all anxious the cops were going to catch them. They literally like ran in for like 1 minute and ran out. Like, have you ever seen people do smash and grabs on cars? It's like they don't break into the car and like get inside of there and like search through everything. Usually they just get really panicky. They bust out the window. They won't even open the door. They'll just lean in through the broken glass and just rip as much stuff off the dashboard and out of the center console they can, and then just run. Yeah, it's God, fucking meth heads, man. Meth heads. They should get a prescription for Adderall like me. That would, then they could go on the straight and narrow.
How much of a charitable donation would I have? Would it take to shave the beard? $10,000 to the charitable foundation of Give It to Houston.
There you go. There's the number, $10,000 to Houston, and you can.
That's been a standing bounty, in fact, for quite a long time. And it has to be in one lump directly to the Get Houston to Shave His Beard Fund. And I will stay baby faced for 30 days, and I will also stream the shaving.
Dude. $10,000. You guys heard it. I didn't think there was a price.
Sure. Yeah.
There is a price. Oh my God. Okay, so tell me this. If somebody gives you $10,000, would you be willing to do it live on your stream though?
Like, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so yeah. Like I've already talked with my barber about it, and we'll stream the shaving. Yeah.
That's awesome. You want to try? Here, just take it downstairs. If you figured, just remember, there's only 10 tries though. So be very, like, double check everything. And if it unlocks, then you can bring it back to me. If it doesn't, throw it in the garbage. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But I'll fix it after the stream. Okay.
$10,000 isn't a bad deal as a pick. Yeah, no, I figure it's worth it because it would take me about a year or so to grow it back.
Oh, to your beard? A year?
Yeah, I think about 8 to 10 months or so.
Well, $10,000's a pretty good deal then if you think about it. If it takes that long. Did it work?
Damn, that was fast.
You gonna let me? Okay. Hold on here.
$250K with $40K going to charity. We'll all pitch in. I figure.
Yes!
That's good enough.
I'm in, and I got your message. Woo! Miss Barnacules saves day. Thank you for social engineering, honey. Good job.
Gangster.
See, it adds to put your wife on the account and give her the password. See, that's that would have been, if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have my phone working right now. So thank you. However, that does actually raise another concern though. And they should did they say anything about me having to come into the store for the puck code, or did they just say that's just a thing that doesn't happen?
No, they didn't say anything to me. And
here, hold on, I'm gonna mute this. You talk.
Oh, they're Talking about secret phone stuff. Yeah. Oh, $5 to Mrs. B for fixing the phone. Thanks, Mopar. Okay, machine learning and stuff. So
I'm back.
we put this as a topic in a sort of a general sense, but we're seeing a lot of machine learning and AI sort of stuff in everything. I mean, some of the places where like you might not expect to see it is like Photoshop with the content aware fill, or recently with After Effects they did something similar where you can basically edit somebody out and it'll fill in the background automatically, things like that. You're starting to see more and more of it in autonomous cars, and not just autonomous but also in things like what is it, like the preventative braking stuff or lane assist. That's a certain level of AI, machine learning, but it's everywhere. We got machines out there that can identify cancer in your biopsies and stuff better than humans do it now. And that's because we've got gobs and gobs and gobs and gobs of data that they've been trained on.
Yep.
But it's everywhere.
Actually, the training's the biggest part of this whole thing. Like
that is, yeah, absolutely.
So just like a child.
What's neat, the thing is, like, what's kind of interesting is that we've actually been collecting this data, and I mean data in a broad sense, but in particular medical data as well. But like, the thing is, we've been collecting it for long time. The thing is, we've only just recently had the processing power to make good use of all of this data. Now we are seeing such an explosion in machine learning and AI because we can finally start actually doing something with all of this data. We've got so much of it. I mean, you're starting to see things like the deepfake stuff. And there's like an audio version of it as well.
The audio one's really good too. Like the one that Adobe did. They didn't even release it, and I think they didn't release it because of the liability. It was supposed to be out like last year, and you don't hear anything about it anymore. And I think it's just because it was too damn real.
You've seen it. I think there is a publicly available tool, because like I've seen. It was a combination of the audio and the video deepfake where they faked a press release from Obama, and they had taken a bunch of his publicly available speeches, ran it through their science magic, and were able to then input text, and it looked just like he was saying it.
That is so crazy. And like get the inflections and stuff right, and it's not like
Yeah, it was neat. And then so as something to Hamir Sazazbo, I'm sorry, I totally butchered your name. I totally know it. But Adobe has recently announced that they have tools that can detect like photoshopped pictures and things like that.
Hey Houston, we have a problem.
What's that?
I turned off my phone to turn it on to see if I could do the sim lock thing, and now it won't power back on.
What?
Oh, there it goes. It finally did. Oh, my God. I think it just took forever to shut down. I've been sitting here like holding the power button for like 2 minutes, and it wasn't turning back on. I want to see if it asked me for a pin now. Because now it let me actually give it a pin, which it didn't have before. So now I'm going to see if like on boot, it says that my sim is locked and I need to unlock it. Because if it does, then that's awesome. Because that means that it's going to ask me no matter where I put the sim in. We're testing things here, and then we'll get right back to AI. Okay, here we go. SIM card is locked.
So thanks, Finn Anderson, for $10 to Mrs. B.
So check this out, guys. It does say, it never did this before. I booted it. It says system. Your SIM card is locked. Okay, when I booted the phone. So now hold on. It's asking me for the SIM pin, not the pin for the phone. SIM is locked.
But now he can't remember his SIM code.
Let's see. I'm in. And it only allows 4 attempts before it needs the puck code again. So now when I boot up my
snap.
phone, yeah, that's cool, man. I just got another layer of protection on my phone, so it was actually totally worth the whole thing. Oh, that's
Nice.
awesome. That is awesome. Jacob Andrews, thank you for the super chat, $1.99. He said machine learning, ABS, and stability management.
Was that like
So is that
braking?
like automatic braking stuff? Like, is he saying there's machine learning there for ABS?
Probably. Or I mean, I imagine there's some level to it as far as like, well, you know, like what is it, traction control and things like that. There's maybe a certain level of machine learning in that.
That makes sense.
Sure.
You could probably optimize it because you have to optimize for conditions that you don't know. There could be a wet spot, then a dry spot, then two wet spots. Like you have to know how to make the transition between those, even though the car may not know how to do it.
Yeah, like I know like Subaru can transfer power from like one wheel to another sort of deal to keep you from spinning out and that kind of thing. There's probably some level of machine learning there. Sure.
That's really cool. Torcane, thank you for the 5 A's. He gave us $5 in A's.
Oh, Australian A's.
Ooh, Australian down under. He said, morning, you two glorious squirrel chasers. How are things? Well, I got back into my phone. Ha ha. And I have another layer of security. So, ha ha. I'm happy. I'm happy now. Can you guys tell I'm happy that I don't have to like drive all the way to the freaking T-Mobile store?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Hey, we got 200 more sex, man. That means we have 250 sexes today.
That's so much.
I'm going to enjoy every one of those sexes, Andreas. Oh my gosh.
No wonder I'm sleepy.
So the machine learning thing, you were talking about the training stuff. The stuff that I think that is most applicable today that most people are starting to see, unfortunately, is the deep fakery. Deep fakes are becoming like big business. Even like people have had to ban them. Did you know like even Pornhub has a standing policy banning deep fakes now because they became that big of a problem. So porn sites now
I would
have
thought they'd be cool with that.
Well, they're worried about the celebrities suing them for showing their likeness. So celebrities have a lot more suing power than most people, so they're like, okay, we should probably just like not fuck with that.
That makes sense.
But deep fakes keep looking like, again, it's how much you train it, right? The more data you put in, the more realistic the end result is. And some of the deep fakes I've seen have been absolutely like dead on, like absolutely dead on. It is possible to get it flawless, and that's what's really scary. Same thing with the audio stuff. Who here's seen the Obama speech where it's Jordan Peele? And he's doing his Obama impression with his Obama accent, and he's doing it all live to a live deepfake using like some Adobe technology. And he's
is that the one where he's like his Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
He's like dropping F-bombs and all kinds of stuff as Obama, and it's pretty damn funny. I think it's Jordan.
Is it this one?
Jordan Peele. Yeah, here, play it.
Is this the one you're talking about?
Play it back and let's see. Oh, it's not playing on the stream. It'll play on my stream though if I play it. Here, hold on, let's see here. Jordan Peele, Obama. Yeah, I found it. Here you go. So
we're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things.
I mean, it looks a little fake. It looks a little like
now that I look at it on my big screen, it does a little bit. But here, I'll put it in chat so they can see it.
Like the mouth isn't moving quite right. Like you can tell this was really fast. Like they probably did this over a weekend or something. Like it wasn't.
It's still crazy though. It's still like if you watch that on a cell phone screen, you wouldn't call it out. I bet
his mouth isn't lined up correctly with the way his head is facing.
Let me watch it.
It's not
For instance,
a full.
they could have
it's
me
not a full
say things
facial
like
replacement. It looks like it's just the mouth. Yeah, that's super off.
If you lower the resolution though, it starts to sell it a lot more.
Yeah,
like if you drop it down to like 480p, it definitely like helps to hide some of the imperfections that you can see, like in the lines along his face. You'll see that they'll soften out.
Yeah, it looks good though.
It's
just a little off.
Man.
It's often it's in that uncanny valley for sure.
Yep.
Like I would, and a guy like me and you, like who are kind of a little more in depth of this sort of thing, is going to be immediately suspicious and can notice these sorts of things quicker.
Yeah.
But man, yeah, it's serious business.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Like we're like the phrase I keep using when I talk to people about it is we're all going to be porn stars in the next 5 years.
Oh yeah, right.
Like everybody, there's going to be a million deepfakes of like the bigger the celebrity you are, the more deepfakes there's going to be you. And I guarantee you, if there isn't one out there already, somebody's already working on it. And I hope you are one of those people. Put me on Ron Jeremy. I want one of those old school 70s Ron Jeremy porns, and I want you to put my face on Ron Jeremy because I think I share a body type with him. I'm not as hairy, but I think we share a similar body type. So yeah, I'd find that highly entertaining to watch. So please, by all means, go do that. Dude, how weird would that be? Sitting down and watching a porn of your face on like Ron Jeremy in like the 70s, like boom, chicka, down, down, chicka, boom, chicka, down, down. And you're just like sitting back there, like what the fuck? And add the noise, like add the film grain and the noise, and do all the color correction and shit. So it's like, oh my god, sell it, guys, sell it.
My favorite one is the guys at Corridor Digital. They brought in a Tom Cruise impersonator,
so good,
and deep faked him to and this was one of the better ones because this guy actually makes a living like impersonating Tom Cruise. That's his job,
and he kind of looks like him a little bit, but his inflections are dead on.
He's got his mannerisms and like he's got like the veneers or something to make his mouth and teeth look just right. The only thing that really is off about the guy just in his normal mode is like the brow, the eye and brow area. When he's wearing the risky business sunglasses,
yes,
he looks perfect. It's like perfect. Oh man. But they use that guy and again over like a couple days, like they didn't train it for very long. The hardest part is the lighting, and so like when you're doing something like the Obama thing where it's like studio lighting where it's very static, way easier to fake because you can replicate that sort of lighting setup pretty much anywhere, and man, it's such a trip.
It is. It's something that like I never really thought would happen. Like I thought people would like 3D model people and get it pretty close. But I never thought they would get to the point where the computer was training it, like where you could, as a non-professional, do it. Like you can go download a script from GitHub right now, feed it a million images. Like you can point it at all my YouTube videos and have it train itself from all my lighting, all my YouTube videos, and have a huge database and spend like a week and like just put my face on anybody. It could be a girl, it could be a boy, absolutely anybody. You could just stick my face on there. It takes a long time though. The more you train it and the more data that you feed it, the longer it takes to produce the clip. Like producing a 10-second clip, like if you wanted to do it perfectly, could take like a week. Could take a week or two. Yeah. But you could do it just without any being professional at all. You don't have to be a graphics artist. You don't have to be any of that.
The deep fake code is actually freely available. Is downloadable from GitHub and it. Yeah, you just feed it enough data, and it's on the one hand, it's like really, really cool. Like, wow, how neat that we're in we're in an era that like you can just do that. But at the same time, like, oh, it's kind of scary.
It is, because especially when we live in an era where you see how many gullible people are in social media and they'll believe something just because somebody they trusted retweeted it or propagated it. So it's only scrutinized, if at all, at the first level. After that, everybody else is just like, well, my friend shared it, so it must be true. My friend shared it, so it must be true. And then if, like for instance, I guarantee if somebody created, like, the Ron Jeremy porn, it would just be a matter of time before, like, you got 3 people to believe it, and my aunts are messaging me, like, I can't believe you did this, nephew, oh my god. And I'm just going to be laughing, like, oh my god, I can't believe you guys bought that shit.
It wasn't me, I promise.
There's an app called, what is it, Auto Face Swap, somebody recommended? Let me see if I can find it here. It's in the Microsoft Store. Oh, good. It's on PC. That's what I wanted. I was looking for a face swap app that I could use for putting Alex Jones on me in real time. So when I do my Alex Jones impression on Morning Coffee, I can totally just pop him on my face. It's called Auto Face Swap. Let me see if I can find it here. Okay, so Get Auto Face Swap. Is that the one? Get Auto Face Swap, or is it just Face Swap? Who was it in chat that said that? Wow, so fake. Who made that video? And how did anybody believe that? From 0x Geek. I think he's being sarcastic. Okay, so auto face swap or copy faces automatically. Just drag and drop them on your face and use a webcam. Okay. Oh, it's on Xbox too? Oh,
what's another neat thing, especially when it comes to like content creation, is how good we're getting at like real time facial tracking and that sort of a deal. Motion tracking, I think is
taking like 2D and figuring out the 3D vectors and everything. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you got things like shit. I think it's called Face Cam in Steam, where it takes your your webcam footage and will paint over like a little cartoon face.
Really?
Oh, face rig.
Oh, somebody
And this
recommended
is
that
actually,
to me. Yeah.
it's a pretty low level implementation of this, but because it's it's good at it'll track like your eyebrows and things and this and that. But another actually really cool thing too is Adobe, I think it's called Adobe Creator or Character.
I know exactly
Creator.
what you're thinking. Yeah, character animator or something.
Character Animator. That's
Yeah,
right.
I actually used that, and it was pretty easy to use to set up my caricature.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I went to a little it was a meetup and had some of the software guys behind it were talking about it, and that's really cool. Like if you wanted to, there's actually a Twitch streamer who uses a combination of character animator and his stream to where his little cartoon head will talk and it animates and tracks him as he's talking and stuff. It was really, really neat implementation.
Yeah, Zachariah actually rigged one of my models, like one of my, my little Barna caricature guys. He actually rigged it in that program, and I was supposed to add it to my live stream. I didn't get around to it because we had to fix some stuff, but he got my mouth to move with it, and he got my cheekbones to like lift with it, and he got the arms to kind of flail around, like you get the arms to kind of flail. I was like, that's pretty cool that he actually rigged a 2D image to do that. And
it's really,
oh my god, that's crazy. So it's called, wait, it's Face Rig? Oh, my wife already found it.
Face Rig is the easy one, yeah.
That's so cool. What's the name of the old project with the whale song? I forget the name. What?
No idea.
Old project with the whale song. Right. I am so confused on that one. I don't even know how to respond to that. Hey, dude, can you hold down the fort for a second? 40-year-old bladder needs to go piss out some of this water.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be right back.
That's really neat. One of my exes only had a 2D face, so easy to upload. Google Deep Dream. Took her about 3 years of underwater. Oh, that's neat. No idea. Yeah, the Deep Dream thing is really neat. Kind of trippy stuff coming from that. Yeah, that's the computer vision program. That's such a neat thing. Super cool. A lot of Twitch streamers, mostly furries, use Face Rig. Pretty cool. I don't know that they're furries necessarily. I mean, it's one thing to have a corgi head as your face on stream, and it's a whole nother to be dressed up in a full body like suit. Let's see what other kind of cool, but man, I'm a big fan of like AI, and so I try and hesitate to use AI often because it's not intelligent. Machine learning, they're very good at usually one very narrow specific thing.
I forgot to wash my hands last time, so I took a little longer to wash my hands this time.
I love this. This guy says, Dickie Nass says, this guy spends more time on his beard than on his wife. Yes, because I don't have a wife.
Oh, burn 2x.
But actually, my beard maintenance doesn't take very much time at all. I comb it out and I wash it when I wash the rest of myself. So it's not. In fact, shaving took more time out of my day than my beard maintenance does.
Miss B said, I love that you thought I knew something, Barnacules. I totally copied people about Face Rig. She does that all the time, and I always buy it. Oh, my God.
Does a real doll count as a wife in some states?
Actually, Miss Barnacules, we had a conversation where she said, no, I could not get a real doll. So that's just so you know the level of conversations that I have with my wife. I actually have a clear and decisive no on that one. So
it's in the prenup.
I even tried to sell it. Like, could I just get it? What if they made one that looked just like you? What if they just cloned you and a real doll? Still, nope. She wouldn't go for it. We've also had the conversation about if Star Trek technology ever like truly exists, like the holodeck. Could you imagine being the guy with the mop and bucket working in the holodeck, like on a starship? Oh, you poor bastard. That'd be the worst job ever.
I'm sure they got robots for that.
Auto face swap pro costs $7 in the Microsoft store. Miss B said, "We have a child." Is he listening to the stream right now? Probably sitting like right next to her on the couch. Hi, son. Hi, Xander. Hope you're being a good boy. Don't listen to anything Daddy says on the internet. He probably is, because I think she's listening to the stream on the couch right now. Oh, Charles said, "My God, don't you own a fleshlight? Do you?" No, well, yeah, those are fine. Those are okay. Those got cleared a long time ago. I couldn't even read that one before it was dusted. Man, the mods are on it. Wait, where would you put a real doll where he couldn't see it? That's a good question. Like, where do you hide like a full-size scale human doll where your son doesn't find it one day and start asking a lot of weird questions?
Chest freezer.
Chest freezer? Oh, wouldn't that be the most appropriate place to put one? Like out in your garage and put some dry ice in it, like a smoke machine, so it looks like ice is coming out around it, make it look ominous. You pop it open, there's just a body in there. Oh my God.
All right, so we want to do a few minutes of AMA.
Well, hold on. We got one more topic. We got one more topic. We got to talk about those two commercial satellites doing the nasty.
2 minutes. Oh yeah, so that was just something pretty cool to mention, that we did have the first, what is it, commercial satellite.
You got to tell me. I didn't even look this one up.
Hookup. I don't know how to hook up.
Yeah, you said two commercial satellites did the nasty. They docked with each other without it being NASA for once.
Damn it! Where did I find that? Damn. Hold on. Where did I find that?
Welcome, Mark.
First time commercial satellites.
Your Highness says, "Does ray tracing help Pornhub?" No, it does not, unless you're into 3D porn.
Here we go. Yeah, this is the first time two commercial satellites have ever docked. This was just a few days ago, and it's kind of a big deal, I guess. It seems like maybe not as big a deal as it might seem, because like I wonder what the actual hook here is, because we've docked things to things in space before, so I'm curious to know what exactly it was that made this newsworthy.
Well, the International Space Station would count as like NASA and a government facility, so that doesn't count as like docking to private entities.
Okay, so that might be it. Maybe that's the thing, is it was two commercial satellites. So it looks like a 19-year-old Intelsat 901 had recently been moved into a graveyard orbit 186 miles higher than geostationary orbit, away from active satellites. This wasn't because the Intelsat 901 wasn't working properly, but because it was critically low on fuel. And so they would soon lose the ability to control it. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. MEV. Okay, so Northrop Grumman has a mission extension vehicle. And so that's what it was that docked with this Intelsat 901 to refuel it. So that's what the deal is. And so now they're actually able to continue using this satellite that otherwise would have had to have been put into a destabilizing orbit and burnt up in the atmosphere.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool.
So did they send it up specifically to fuel it, or was this another one that was just in orbit that happened to have extra fuel or something?
No, this mission extension vehicle was specifically designed to dock to other satellites running low on fuel. And then this was like, not proof of concept, but like they were proving that it could work. They took this, it latched. Yeah. So yeah, Chadwick would kind of, I don't know. I lost the word, but
it latched onto it and uses its thrusters. So it basically just gave it more momentum. Yeah. It basically imbued momentum onto it, so it held its orbit.
In a sense, it was like, rather than like an in-flight refueling, it was more of like they attached another gas tank to it. But let's see here. We'll use the move to blah blah back into geo where the ladder, and then after 5 years. So it sounds reusable, because it says after 5 years the MEV1 will return. So no, it does stay attached. It's gonna push it back out to a graveyard orbit, and then they'll launch another one later for service as well.
So it's
that's
basically
kind
a
of cool.
self-fueled thruster that just attached to it. And pushes it
It's
around?
like an extra. It seems like they basically launched an extra gas tank up to the satellite, locked onto it, and now they're able to keep using this older one.
That's really cool, actually.
Still, that's better than burning the thing up.
Somebody actually did make the point, though, that like satellite interactions are kind of a scary thing because it's like foreign governments physically disabling satellites now is like a possibility because like you can go up and intercept,
for sure.
like the technology to intercept a satellite. But here's the thing that people don't realize is that the Pegasus missile has been around forever and successfully shot down many satellites. And the Pegasus missile is not only owned by the U.S. government, it's owned by Russia, and I think China even has their own variant of it. So it's already possible to shoot down a satellite with a missile that's literally launched from an airplane, from a jet.
Yeah.
Like, so that's already a thing. And that's what I was thinking about this with Elon's network. When he's done, he's going to have so many satellites launched that even if they take out like a huge portion of those satellites, the network will still function to a degree. It loses some functionality after a while, but it's redundant against this because he's expecting it. Like, it's gonna happen. Oh, sure. You're gonna piss off some country when you have 1,000 satellites a day going over their country. They're all gonna get like weird about it, and they'll probably start launching these missiles up and picking them off. But each one of Elon's satellites is like tiny. Like, it's not super tiny, but like the size of a desk or something that's like that. They're going to spend $1 million on a missile, more than that probably, on a missile to take out that satellite, and it's going to cost more to blow the satellite up than for him to create another one, and eventually they're just going to give up, if that ever happens. They're going to just be like, okay, this is a waste of money. All right, let's do a tiny little AMA and then get you a nap, son.
Okay.
You look like Father Time's ready to lay down and get some Z's. Be honest, I could use some myself. You guys got any questions for us before we wrap up episode 4 of Tech Talk, and then we'll quickly talk about our schedule change. Let's hear. James Jana said thoughts on the Google AI phone, where Google Assistant simulates your phone and makes phone calls and does things like appointments. Oh, I heard about this.
Yeah. I mean, they're taking a good angle on that though, because it like announces itself. It'll like ring up a restaurant to set up a reservation for you, but the very first thing it says is like, this is a robotic phone call or an automated phone call by Google Assistant or something like that. It isn't trying to like pretend to be you or anything.
It's like Rick and Morty. Really remember the Rick and Morty episode, The Wedding or whatever? It's like I am not staring at you. I am a photographer. I am an android taking your picture or whatever. And he just stares. This robot just like stares at people. He's like, I am just taking pictures. Oh my god. I think it's a cool concept. But the other thing that I'd be a little bit concerned with is that being like manipulated on your behalf to do things, and people just become implicitly trusting in that voice and that mannerism. Like, they'll know, people just get so used to it that they'll know what it is, and it'll be easier for people to like impersonate you with actions to other people because they'll just trust it. It'd be weird if I called up and I was like, hey buddy, you want to hang out tonight at 7 p.m. or something like that, and they'll be like, hey, this ain't my fucking friend talking, you don't sound like that. But now it's gonna be like, hello, how are you doing? I am calling from Barnacules, want to hang out at 7 p.m. Please press 1 on your phone if you're okay with that. People just fuck with you endlessly.
Yeah, I think it was mostly for like commercial stuff, like setting up like a doctor appointment or setting reservations, things like that. I don't know that it was really meant to be like person to person in that way.
Fair enough.
I mean, I suppose you could. I suppose.
Everybody's using like Fire RTC and just calling up people like, hello, how are you doing today? Please send me Walmart gift cards. Lol, lol, lol. Oh my God. Charles says, any news about the racing setup? Because I haven't heard about it, and I want to know what's going on with that sucker. Actually, all of the parts have arrived, except for the pedal box, but we're going to skip the pedal box and use my old pedal box from my old simulator. And assembly, we're gonna get it planned out in about a little over 2 weeks. I'm going to have somebody come down that's going to help me build it out, and it's going to be a SimuCube 2 Ultimate base with an Asher racing wheel, racing seat, the SimLabs P1X racing cockpit that's all made of aluminum extrusion. We almost 3D printed all the parts for full motion, but we're not doing that in stage 1. That's going to be pushed out a month or 2. But it's going to be, when it's done, it's going to be full motion. The cockpit's going to move around for brake simulation and all that stuff. And it's going to be largely VR. But yeah, we're going to start assembly on it. So you'll probably see videos in the next month coming out.
Cool.
For it. Awesome. Yeah. As inspired by Jimmy Broadbent. You know it, Phil. I love that guy.
Nice.
I love him. Let's hear. Mr. Uber Bongo said destroying satellites in orbit creates loads of debris, which on its own is a threat to other things in orbit. That's absolutely true. And be honest, if another country just starts shooting down satellites, the U.S. is going to intervene. Like, we're going to just
man.
like go start bombing like all their sites where they're launching these missiles and stuff because we
Yeah,
can't
agreed.
have that, right?
No.
Like Space War, okay, Star Wars is like fun to watch on TV, but when it starts happening in reality, like we're gonna be like, we're not gonna let like $10 trillion of GPS satellites just die because one country wants to like start shooting missiles into orbit. That would end really fast.
Oh man.
And I believe the rest of the world would be behind us on it.
I mean, that's kind of a scary thought because like you wouldn't even really need to drop any sort of like weapon, really. You could just destabilize the orbit of some thing out there that you don't care. I mean, they drop satellites into the ocean and every once in a while, or chunks. Remember when they decommissioned the Mir space station?
Yep.
They had to be really careful about how the orbit like collapsed so that it would crash, and there was still concern that it wouldn't, they didn't do the math right or something weird would happen, and they were concerned it could drop into the middle of Arizona and stuff. It was
There's actually, I believe there's a movie. Was it Triple X? One of the Triple X movies was based on that premise of using a technology to destabilize satellites. To destroy things I remember that.
Man, that's...
Yeah, because as long as you get its trajectory through the atmosphere shallow enough that it doesn't completely burn up and it makes it through, a chunk makes it through. If it weighs 20 pounds, 30 pounds, it's going to do damage when it hits the ground at terminal velocity, a big chunk of metal.
Oh man.
So
one of the this is very sci-fi, but they've talked about tungsten rods. You launch a bunch of tungsten rods up in a satellite and you can just drop them from orbit, and it would have the kinetic energy of dropping it wouldn't even have to be too big, really. Could be just colossal. The crashing of something the size of a Volkswagen into a city is thermonuclear. Boom, and you're gone.
Yeah, and the thing is, you don't have to transport the whole rod up into space. You can just take a fragment at a time up, screw them all together, and now you've got this giant pylon that weighs 20 tons, and it's got a cross section that's only like a foot or 6 inches. It's just really long, and that thing's not going to slow down. Like wind resistance is not going to slow something like that down very much. It's going to hit the ground like a giant fireball from orbit.
Yeah,
that'd be crazy to even think of. But then you start getting into the thing where it's like, which is more expensive? Putting a tungsten thing in orbit with like 30 flights and dropping the one thing, or just sending a thermonuclear bomb over there and doing the same amount of damage for like half the price or a quarter of the price.
But the nuke has got you got radiation, whereas a rock, essentially just dropping rocks from space, is there. There's no radiation.
Let's hope they never figure out the neutron bomb. The neutron bomb takes all the bad stuff off the table, and then everybody be lobbing those things around. One more. Is there one more we can take really quick, and then we'll talk about the schedule.
One more.
Let's see. Let's see. Cypher said, "Are we streaming the build of the sim?" Miss B is wondering. Oh, it's a question for my wife. We don't know if we're going to be live streaming it. We're probably just going to be recording it for YouTube. We might live stream the use of it once we get it set up. All right. So, Mr. AuxxZillary, would you like to tell the people about the new schedule change that's coming up starting next week?
Yeah. So, I think just for everybody. We're going to be, starting next week, we'll be starting the stream at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yep.
And Jerry mentioned that we want to be pretty strict about our guaranteed 2 hours, but no more than 3.
Yeah.
Which I think every once in a while, I think it'd be fun to do. I think maybe if we do maybe once a month or something like that, where I come up there and I'm with you, maybe those ones could be longer.
Yep.
I think that'd be a lot of fun just to do like the occasional special day.
Yeah.
I think that'd be just.
And the only reason I really want to rein them in is just because a lot of people were complaining that it was just too long for them to be able to find the index of like what they want. So once we start adding indexes, that's going to reduce that problem. The other thing too is just YouTube SEO just beats me up. Anything over 3 hours, the watch time's so low that it just starts killing everything. But yeah,
which makes sense.
Yeah,
that's perfect. So from 10 to 1, it'll be 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. I think, right? Is that the math? Yeah.
Yes, sir. And then I'll be doing morning coffee twice a month on that same day because I do it every other day, so it falls on 2 Saturdays a month. So I'll be doing morning coffee after Tech Talk. So, but it'll be on Twitch. It won't be here on YouTube. So, and it'll probably be like an hour break in between. I haven't decided. I'll probably schedule it for the afternoon just because I want some time to like recover and rest and all that. And I did do it opposite before. I was streaming in the morning before Tech Talk, but the problem is that means I had to shut down really quick, switch over, get everything set up, and wake up really super early. So this will be nicer because I can wake up, I can be fully alert, I can do the stream, and then I can take a rest and do mine.
Pacific Standard Time, Leslie Monroe, 10 a.m. Pacific.
Yep, 10 a.m. Pacific. And Ryan W., thank you for that last super chat of 10 Canadian dollars from the land of Kazakhstan. C. Mopar said end of the month special stream. Yeah, but we're gonna have him here. And I've got another mic and everything, so I can set up 2 mics and we can do it up proper. We'll get a cool camera angle and all that stuff. I think it'll be great. And plus, it's just an excuse to get you up here to go have lunch with the Beardosaur. Since finally you're local, it's like I have a host that's co-host that's local, so that's awesome.
We could make it the day I pick up my paycheck. There'll be paycheck stream.
There you go. Come and get your money. Yeah, because I'm gonna pay this boy. This boy's getting paid. All those super chats you guys gave us today, it's getting cut down the middle. Because this boy needs to get paid. Because hey, guys, he's super poor people. He lives in a doghouse, and it's got like a little flap on the front of it that's like half torn and stuff. Like, yeah, we got to help this bro out. We got to help him out.
Speaking of, not to be like a beggar or anything, but I am working on paying off some vet bills. So if you all,
oh no, Doggo needed some work.
Oh man, she broke a tooth. This was a couple weeks back. I noticed she was drooling really bad. And she doesn't drool much. She's sloppy with the drinking water, but otherwise she's pretty clean. Drooling real bad. And so I Google it, and I'm like, one of the very first things is like, make sure that their teeth are okay. Like they don't have a splinter or something. And it'd be her left side. It was sheared, like not completely split down the middle, but like a chunk off of one side was completely sheared off, like a piece of granite or flint had been. So I took her in for that. As they're poking around, they tell me that the right hand side one was also broken, but was broken like long time ago. Like the chunk of it probably just fell out. But they could tell it was really kind of like just funky and dirty and gross looking. And so they took both of those. But it's not a big deal. Like the two teeth in the back often break or fall out on their own for dogs, especially chewers like Daisy. And it's not going to affect her quality of life or anything. It hurts. I mean, obviously a broken tooth.
It's like stuck in a purgatory state there.
Yeah, and my dog's kind of dumb. She doesn't communicate pain very well, like at all.
She's like one time right?
She cut her front paw like to the bone.
Oh,
almost.
Jesus.
Like, I mean, there's not a lot of fat or muscle like in their forearms anyway, but it split the thing. I didn't even know until she hopped up on me and like there was like blood on me. We were playing and stuff. Like I was throwing a ball.
So she's just super amped up. Like,
yeah, she doesn't communicate pain at all. So if I hadn't checked, she could have, who knows when it broke. Honestly, it could have been earlier, even in the week, and I just didn't know about it. But she's fine now. Got the teeth pulled. They put dissolving stitches and stuff. She's totally fine. Everything went perfectly fine. No big deal. But yeah, now I'm a lot more considering pet insurance. That's for sure.
Probably not a bad idea. I mean, I insure my kid too, and he's up to about like 2.8 million. So
yeah, right.
Hopefully, it's a little cheaper to insure your dog. Well, I'm glad Doggo's okay though, because man, that's like one thing I don't miss about having dogs growing up is like cats. They rarely hurt themselves. Like they're just like they can bounce off walls and stuff. Dogs, because just their nature and their size and everything like that, they tend to be a little bit more clumsy and stuff like that. Like it's funny you tell that story just really quickly. I had a dog growing up named Foxy that was a half wild fox and half was it corgi? I think it was corgi. And oh my god, that dog, it'd play fetch, he'd throw the frisbee, and it would just bite holes through its tongue. And just blood would just be pouring out of this dog's mouth, looking like Cujo, like it just ate a rabbit.
Oh man.
And so you couldn't play frisbee with this dog anymore because it would just chew its tongue off and showed no signs of pain, 5 puncture holes through its freaking tongue, and you're just like, oh my god. It happened like 3 times and we were like, we're never playing frisbee with this dog again. This dog just tries to eat its tongue. It was weird.
Jeez.
So glad that doesn't happen. So yeah, that's a good story to end on right there. Right. But just to let you guys all know before we go, AuxxZillary does have his own stream over on Twitch also that he does.
Yes.
What's your times and days that you do that stream, sir?
I stream most mornings on my commute into work. It's kind of a morning coffee style.
Okay.
We just drive into work and I stream of consciousness, jibber jabber stuff, nothing in particular. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday evenings, 8:30 Pacific Standard Time, I play video games or sometimes build PCs. Depends on if I've got the stuff for it.
Awesome. And I stream every other day, which means tomorrow. And then so it's 2 Saturdays, 2 Sundays every month, but it's every other day. And, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, and then alternate days the next week. And I stream at 10. I try to stream at 10 a.m. Every day. I do that morning coffee over on Twitch. It's a lot more raw than what we're doing here. So just be aware. I take things a little way further over there, and it's a little bit of a different format, and I do different things over there. So, but yeah, definitely check us both out over there if you're interested in. Tech Talk's going to be here every week, man. We're here to stay. Episode 5 next week, absolutely. 10 a.m. So just make sure you remember the new time. We'll make sure we remind you on Twitter. Yeah, follow us on Twitter because that's where you're going to get notified like when things are about to happen. So if you want that clairvoyance, follow us on Twitter. And I want to thank all of our super chatters today and everybody that subscribed to the channel. I really do appreciate all that and love you guys a long time. I think we're good. Let's end on a wave.
Thanks, you guys. Bye.
Bye. Now I got to push the button. There's another button. Here you go.
Wait.